Hey guys, welcome to episode 243 of 4PlayerAnimecast. We are here with the final episode of the Winter 2024 reviews. Um we are again it is 10:15. We started a little bit late PM. Over here in the East Coast of the United States, I guess, and Canada too. I always forget Nier is a human being, so we do have him in tow today. On a leash, 23rd May or March, sorry, of 2024. So this is going to be our last episode again of the Winter 2024 season. We have a couple of big names here today that we might want to cover. And we uh we have uh after this we're going to do our preview show, and then I think after that we should be right on track with having episode 2 or episode 3 of our spring 2024 reviews, pretty much right on track. So we, like, by the time we hit that episode, pretty much all of our shows should have had episode 1s, 2s, 3s out. So um we should be pretty much right on track properly. Uh so we'll just start right off then. Again, I am your host Spire. Here with me are my compatriots Near,
Hi.
Toast,
Huh?
and Dark.
Hello.
All right. Well, 2 weeks really quickly. Let's start off with Dark.
How was the
Yeah.
Palladium Theater, Dark?
Oh, it was so good. I definitely went there.
How was the rain?
No, yeah, it rain. It been raining. It's been raining like crazy. So, um, yeah, I did not go. I did not go see Otto in concert. Um, which
Dark, if you went, you would have missed this podcast because it went from apparently 8 to 9:30.
damn. But yeah, I was not really willing to stand out in the fucking rain. So I did not go to that. Um but yeah, stuff has been going on. As far as anime goes, not a ton that I've been doing. I've kind of just been keeping up with stuff. Um yeah, that's about it there. I've been playing. I'm a battle royale fiend, so I've been playing the WoW battle royale, and that's been an interesting experience. It's been fun. I um maxed out my, like, what do you call it, rewards for that. So that was a fun time. And by fun, I mean it really wasn't. The game itself is fun, but oh my god, some people really read one guide that says, "Hey, uh, it's faster to level if you do it in duos," and then they read another guide that says, "Also, it's faster if you just like immediately jump in and then die after you complete your first reward, or if you like avoid combat." And it's like, yeah, those things are kind of not like combined. So it's like I'm talking to people who are like trying to tell me like, no man, I read it's actually faster to do it this way, and it's like I'm in the full gear that says like I am at least at worst 3 levels away from max like reward level in this, versus someone who's in like the default outfit. And they're like, dude, I read it was faster to do it this way, and it's like, this shit's been out for like 3 days and I'm already capped. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? like, really? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize you knew how to do it faster than me. So that's been frustrating, but you know, I like seeing experiments in games like that. So that aspect of it has been pretty cool. Um, And then other than that, not a whole lot, you know. Picked up Dragon's Dogma. That game runs like crap. But it is a very good game and very fun game aside. And yeah, just, you know, been
What kind of
continuing that
freak did you
D&D
make?
kick. I did not make a freak because that's not how I play
Oh,
games. I'm not Japanese,
but
so
don't
I
you want to
actually
min
like my
max?
characters
Apparently,
looking cool.
you got to min max the short and fat, right?
Oh, for like the yeah, no, I don't do that. But yeah, Dragon's Dogma has a lot of interesting stuff, especially has a lot of interesting stuff with like physics and how that functions in the game, so
Is it still the best
that has been
7 out of
cool.
10 ever made?
I mean, honestly, outside of the game's like performance issues so far, this shit would probably be like my game of the year. But considering the performance issues, not many people can like play it decently, including myself because it's CPU bound. So there's no way you can run this game properly.
Okay, so thank you, Dark. And Nier, what about you?
I've been straight chilling, you know.
Near House Shadowverse.
I don't know. Shadowverse is actually ending, believe
Yep.
it or not. They announced a new game. I think it's coming out summer.
Is it just Shadowverse 2?
It is Shadowverse 2.
Hell yeah.
Is it actually Shadowverse 2?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I forget what exactly it's called. It's basically
God
like
damn it.
Shadowverse, some subtitle, and they're adding super evolutions, so you can evolve
Wait,
twice.
No.
they're not
hell yeah.
actually making a new
Whoa,
game.
dude.
It's literally just like Shadowverse, but expanded because they're just like, oh, we just gotta make a new fucking.
Is it like
Um,
resetting? Essentially,
I
like
have
it's just
I
all
have
new
no
cards
idea.
and
I have
shit.
no idea.
Like,
Yeah.
I imagine it's probably going to be a new card set. I have a feeling the reason they're doing this is probably just because there's so many cards in the game. They probably feel it's somewhat bloated now. I kind of just want to move on, but then just keep
Yeah,
doing Shadowverse at the same time.
Yeah, the issue is it's also still Shadowverse, so
Yeah,
you know.
right. It's going
Near
to be
who would win
Shadowverse
who would win a fight? Shadowverse or Master Duel?
in terms of what?
Who would win there?
I don't. Probably Master Duel. What do you mean?
Oh, fine. What's the fine? Let me change it up. Shadowverse or Evolution World? Is that what it's called?
I think so.
What the fuck is that?
Is that what it's called? Dragon Ball Evolution World, the new card game.
Yeah. Um, between
Anyways.
Shadowverse and that, I mean, probably Shadowverse. Do Dragon Ball fans really care about playing a card game? I don't think they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
But,
don't
Oh,
think
it's
they do.
it's Fusion World. Yeah, Fusion
Yeah.
World. That's the one.
But yeah, the new Shadowverse is basically just gonna be like, I don't know. It's weird. It seems like they kind of want to like they'll treat it as like a platform because there's like mahjong in that game. And there's like weird like social like lobby things. It's very strange. I think Side Games is like looking at what was it, like a Grand Blue versus Rising, where it had like the Fall Guys stuff, and people kind of latched onto that for a little bit, and they were like, "Hey, we could do that in Shadowverse."
Yeah.
There's like made like weird lobbies and stuff, and mahjong and weird mini games. I think I
the
saw like a
Shadow
fishing mini game.
Metaverse.
Yeah, it's strange, but kind of exciting. The only thing that I'm kind of worried about is the fact that I've put a lot of money into buying leaders and stuff in Shadowverse, and I kind of hope at least some of that transfers over. Because like from the gameplay they've shown, like there are still like those old leaders in the game. Like they showed footage of Cerberus and stuff. So I don't know. I do hope the accounts can transfer over. But other than that, you know, keeping up with mobile game shit. Yeah, that's about it really. I've just been straight chilling past couple weeks.
Nice. All right. Well, thank you very much. Toast, what about you?
Yeah, what's this about? You guys hate immigration?
Yeah, it's true. We
So
hate it so
true.
much that we accept like the most immigrants of like the entire world, I think. Yeah.
It says right here, Canada plans to cut temporary residence by 20% over 3 years.
Yeah. That's probably doesn't really mean much. We accept a lot.
What do you mean by temporary residence? Like,
Like students,
oh, okay.
pretty much anybody that's like trying to visit, um, just for not like the sake of permanent residence, right? Like basically just anybody that's coming in, really. Like
Anyways,
if
Toast,
you're
can you
not
go
already
on?
here, it's probably gonna get cut out.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But
What happened in 2 weeks? Suisei's 3D Live. Pretty good. I heard she got an Idolmaster collab. I don't play
yeah,
Idolmaster, so
it's
I
been
don't know.
in the works for quite a while. Obviously, there was a little bit of fuss over it on the
Why?
Japanese side.
Why would they be fussy
Uh,
about it?
I think some of them were just kind of like we know why you're doing this because Dead State is like declining in popularity, and it's just like it's our kind of like last very like cheesy, obvious like hand card to play. They're like, oh, by the way, VTubers, guys, blah blah. And then I think
But
some people were
Suisei's always shilled Idolmaster and Idol Stars or whatever the boys were. What are you guys hating on her for? Did you
can I
see the
finish?
Did you see the numbers that she pulled up
Can I
when she
finish?
announced it? What?
Let me finish. And the reason why is that Didiste for a long time has had a lot of unvoiced like idols, right? Because it's like part of Didiste's charm or whatever it is that it has like 100 billion idols or whatever in the wings. And it's like some of them are voiced and some of them aren't. And part of this like important thing to the fan base that they get very crazy about, and somewhat understandably, but I've also kind of been like, eh, about it is like the voicing, like who actually, which one of the unvoiced idols actually gets a voice, and is people are kind of like, well, you could a lot of these like unvoiced idols, unvoiced characters that have been in the game for years are still not voiced, and instead of doing that and like promoting the characters in the game and doing these sorts of things, you're just pulling in Suisei. So I think a lot of those people are getting mad because of that. I personally am kind
Oh,
of
they're
just
just
like,
jealous of her. Okay.
I guess, in a sense, that is probably true. To me, it's kind of like whatever. Although seeing the whole like SSR Cisse kind of thing is still a little bit weird because to me, it's kind of um like seeing art of like Jerma or Ludwig next to like
What?
a Love Live girl or something like that. You know what I mean? Because at the
Sorry,
end,
sorry. Germa likes Miku. Get it straight.
yeah, that is true. Yeah. So, uh, I don't think it's a bad idea. I think it's just a little bit weird. But it happens. It is a thing. So, it is what it is. But yeah, that collab did happen. And then
How do you feel about Suisei's and Kaede? What's up with that?
I again, I think the thing is like a little bit weird. I understand why it happened. And obviously I think Suisei is a Kaide P, and I am also a Kaide P. So it's cool. But you know
Don't worry,
the
don't worry,
artwork is a
Spire.
little bit.
Don't worry, Spire. There's the R. There's a rare Suisei, and then there's the SSR Suisei. Obviously,
Yeah,
you have to
the
get the
SR and
SSR.
the event SR and the collab SR rather, and then the collab SSR, right? I think if I remember correctly. So, uh, but anyways, you had that, and then you went to the
Her.
auto event? Did you go
No,
to the
mine's in
okay.
2 days.
Okay. Nice,
Also,
nice.
yeah. So Suisei's new song, pretty good. It's what 931K in a day. It's gonna hit it by tomorrow. But yeah, I've been keeping tabs on the New York one because my Chicago one's coming up soon, and oh boy, I gotta get there way earlier than I thought. By like maybe noon, maybe earlier, because I think they were starting selling merch around 4:30, and they sold out almost instantly on the good stuff. Oh, good stuff. Well, guess maybe the keychain's the most popular. The vinyls and CDs sold out like almost instantly, and then the keychains went out. So I gotta get there lickety split to
Yeah,
get my stuff.
that's the only like merch from the auto store that I saw that I was kind of jealous of. I
You
was
want
like,
one?
oh,
I mean, if you want one, I can try to hook you up with one if they still have them.
yeah. If you have the chance to like kind of drop by the store, and if you can't get it, I'll pay for it, and I'll pay for shipping and stuff like that as well. Just let me know what it is.
It's like $10 shipping. I looked.
Yeah, yeah.
Not that
I'll
bad.
pay double or whatever the shipping cost is. Just like send it to me, and
We'll see.
I'll pay.
I mean, I gotta get it first because
Yeah, if you
I
can get
gotta.
it, I was saying like you don't have to stress on.
I'll. I mean, I'm getting one anyway, so let me check. Don't worry.
Okay. Nice.
Anyway,
But yeah.
what else? What else happened in 2 weeks?
Mhm.
I don't know. Stuff. Oh, did I talk about fifth fest? I don't think I did, right?
Hololive thing.
No,
Yeah, that was 2 weeks. How many? That I didn't talk about that on the last
That was
podcast,
like
right?
last week, right?
Yeah, it's pretty
Oh,
good.
yeah.
I gotta say, a lot of the songs they did were much better, and there was a lot more different karaoke and whatnot. Let's see. A lot of the members who had more than one original song, instead of just doing one song, they did a medley version of a bunch of their songs. So that was pretty good. So we got a taste of all of their medley songs. That was great. Corone once again uh, exceeded expectations this year. First, she did a flip, and then another flip. Now it's a no hands flip. So we're all excited to see what she's gonna do next year. I don't know. Maybe a flash kick. I don't know.
But yeah,
I don't know.
gotta do that JP cosplay.
I've
But
basically been preparing for the auto concert in 2 days. So
yes,
past 2 weeks have been
Otto,
a blur because
Otto is doing an international kind of concert tour recently, and it's been blown up because Otto is good and everybody loves her.
But yeah, thank you, Europe crowd. You ruined it for everyone else. I believe it was Brussels, where people were sneaking in their phones and whatnot.
God
So,
damn it, guys.
so now they had no phones, no cameras, no binoculars, whatever. I don't know why binoculars. I think binoculars have some. Someone mentioned binoculars have some sort of recording feature now, so no binoculars, and that's why we're getting Yonder pouches in the U.S. I didn't know of any of these until now, but it's like
Oh, you've never
it's a
seen
pouch.
those?
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
It's a thing where they take your phone, they put it in a pouch, and they seal it with a magnet. Then they unseal it at the end of the event. So that's cool. Thanks, I guess.
Yeah, it's like you keep your phone on you, but they like fucking put it in this like thing so that you can't really like use it during it. And you have to go back to it's kind of like the what do you call it? That shit they put on like clothes and shoes and stuff, that tag that'll like just stay on and you'll have to like rip it apart or whatever that like you get taken off in a store. Kind of like that, where they have like their own magnet thing to like pop in and take it out. It's a fucking pain in the ass.
Well, but yeah, so looking forward to it. I'm not going to be looking forward to sitting in the rain for 8 hours, but you got to do what you got to do to
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't
fight
rain
the
by
crowd.
you.
It's going to rain, and
Damn.
20-mile-per-hour winds. So hell yeah, it'd be great.
Thank you very much, Toast. And on my end, I've been pretty chill again. I've been a little bit busy recently with real life projects and stuff like that, so I've been running around a little bit. Mostly chilling with the anime series that I've been watching. Some one of the bigger series that I'll talk about later in this podcast. I've been watching for quite a while now, but it's very fun. So I'll be talking about that and some of the others. Again, just keeping up with. I will admit, I have been continuing to watch Hokkaido Garu
Look at this! Look at this goddamn liar!
as a guilty pleasure.
Remember, he said he hated it.
I still would not recommend it to other people, but I'm still watching it as a guilty pleasure, and I fully admit that it's a fucking not a good series, but I'm still watching it because it's just like fuck. It's because I am very low IQ, so But yeah, anyways, that's been pretty much it, and I think we should start right off quickly with toast. What do you have for us?
I don't know.
Some random thing.
Uh,
Just something.
I watched the Foolish Angel Dances with Demons, but they
The
translated it
devil or
as
whatever.
the devil.
Yeah.
So that was
Well, the angel
cool.
devil thing makes a little bit more sense in terms of like English the translation. But yeah, it is the foolish angel dances with the devil. It is a manga original. Japanese title is Oroka na Tenshi wa Akuma to Odoru. So yeah.
Yeah.
This artwork looks familiar, by the way. Who Suimin back updates. Okay.
Sawayoshi Azuma. I don't know who that is.
Well, the manga itself is
Gyaku,
slightly different. Yeah.
the artist of Gyaku Rape Queens.
Oh,
What the
Okay.
fuck?
Nice.
Nice.
And service made Ayakashi Kan Yokuso. Sounds really familiar. But yeah,
Yeah.
Gyaku Rape
anyways.
Queens. Is that what you're looking for, Spire?
There's like a couple of Suimins here, but I don't know if they're actually the right Suimins.
Girlfriend Kari. Okay.
Okay. Anyways, go on with the series toast.
So it's about this dude named. So apparently, there's a war between the demons and the angels, and whatnot. And so we have our lead protagonist, Masatora Akutsu. Get it? Akutsu. Get it? Voiced
yeah.
by Uchida Yuma, who, if you don't know, is the little brother of Uchida Maya. That's cool, right?
Yes. Uchida Yuma has been popping off recently. Like so before, like even I wanted to say about 4 or 5 years back, it was just like Uchida Maya all the time, and Uchida Yuma was just coming up. But recently, like he's been appearing in like every other series as the protagonist. So yeah.
I gotta say, he's got a pretty unique voice. He's kind of soft
Yeah.
spoken and it's like kind of fresh air, so I can recognize him pretty immediately. And
Yeah.
lo and behold, he's actually married to Hidaka Rina.
Yes,
That's
that
cool,
happened
I
this
guess.
year, I believe. This new year.
Oh yeah, name one role she did.
Hidakarina, the main character in what was it? SS Inuboku, right? So that was one.
Inuboku SS. Okay,
Ririchio, right?
I don't know who that is.
Yeah. Anyways,
But yeah, so good for
I was
them.
like, name a role. Who? Who?
Yeah, so he's there, and he's a transfer student into class, and then he meets up with another fellow transfer student who I believe came to the school 1 month earlier, and that would be Amane Lily, who's voiced by Ayane Sakura. And if you know Ayane Sakura's voice, you can tell immediately it's her. It's just her doing
yeah.
Ayane Sakura voice. Let me just say, hot take, I prefer her Nagato voice, not her regular voice. Sorry, Hoshikawa Sarah. I prefer real Ayane Sakura voice. But yeah. And then he's transfer student, whatever, and then he meets up with Amani Lily, and she's like, "Hey, I'm a transfer student. Can you show me around and whatnot?" And then he saves her from a guess what? Guess what? Guess what he saves her from?
Herself.
No,
A demon.
That'd be deep.
no. There's an incident, and he has to save her. Guess from what? What is the most common trope nowadays?
A
Jewish
car?
space laser.
That's correct. A truck.
Oh, there you
Oh
go.
yeah,
He
yeah,
saves her from a
classic.
truck, and he accidentally reveals his demon side. So they meet up in the park, and she's like, "Damn, what are you?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm a demon. I've come to Earth to get help from, I don't know, to recruit someone who could, I don't know, like revitalize the demon army against the angels, because apparently the angels are no good guys who torture and kill demons for fun. So we're like, we got to get a charismatic leader to help us against the angels and whatnot." Then Ayane Sakura is like, "Oh, that's cool, but guess what? I am an angel." And then they fight, and then she ties him up, and he's like, I can either kill you, or you can become my servant." And he's like, "No, I refuse." But then she forces a slave, sorry, it's not a slave collar, it's a chained soldier collar on him, because there's no slaves in the magic capital here.
Yeah. By the way, yeah, never mind. Sorry. Keep going.
I'll continue.
I was about to
It's
make a
fine.
chain. I was about to make a chain soldier
Go
reference,
ahead. Go ahead.
actually.
Go ahead, because no one's reviewing it, right? So go ahead.
Yeah, it's like how Maho Sehe no slave, which is chained soldier in English, got changed from the slave to the soldier because whenever there are slaves in anime, we tend to ignore it for some reason or another.
It's
So
the woke mind virus.
yeah, that's
True.
true. But anyways, sorry, keep going,
But
Toast.
yeah, so she forcibly makes her his servant,
Mhm.
and they're like, "You will help me do something," apparently.
What is this
Because
something?
who knows, Spire? Who knows? That's a big mystery of the series. But apparently she's like an outcast of the angels, so she's trying to get
Okay.
maybe she's trying to get back into the angel army. Who knows? So yeah,
Mhm.
so she forcibly contracts him, and when he tries to rebel, he turns into this creepy pervert guy who's like, "Oh, they do this whole S&M routine because her weapon is a chain and scythe. So she chained him. So yeah, so she's an S and he's an M when he's under the I guess the slave collar contract or whatever, and thus
Mhm.
wacky hijinks ensue. And so the series is a back and forth about how Amane Lily trying to is forcibly enlisting Akutsu's help for some nefarious thing, maybe to get back at the angels. And Akutsu's trying to revitalize the demon army against the angels
Mhm.
because the angels are sadistic and whatnot, and the demons are apparently, I guess, the demons are masochistic. They just want to be left alone.
Wait,
That's the
wait, wait,
whole.
wait, wait, wait. Is that like a comedy thing? Like the demons are what is
I mean, there's a bunch of things where the demons are or the angels are posting on their social media accounts about, "Oh, we exercise this demon, haha, and we force this
uh
demon to run errands." So I guess maybe that's
what the fuck?
maybe that's
Okay.
the allegory between the two races and
Yeah.
whatnot.
Yeah.
Dude,
I'm
that
not
is
sure if it's like an allegory
that's
necessarily, but
just
yeah.
ripping off Jashin Chan, just saying.
Yeah.
Maybe. But yeah, so it's a that's the series is about. It's a manga original. Is it? Yes. It's a manga original. And yeah, very very cool.
Hmm.
Very cool.
S-
I pretty much like the series.
Yeah. So
Uh
this is done by Children's Playground Entertainment. They did stuff like they did Faraway Paladin, which was like it was okay, but I think that was mainly the pacing was a little bit iffy, but I think that was like a disjoint between the original source material as well as the sort of pacing of the anime.
Let
They
me
did
ask,
also
you watched Faraway Paladin, right?
yes.
How was the CG in it? Because I have some qualms. Was that wonky
I
ass
for
CG?
I forget. I don't really know if there was that much CG in Faraway Paladin, but I don't think I really cared for it too much. Yeah, there was like not that much CG in general in Faraway
I
Paladin.
bring this up because this series in the first
Mhm.
couple episodes had some wonky ass CG.
I'm not too surprised because
Uh,
it's like
the the
this
truck was
yeah.
CG when he went to when Amane was like, "Oh, I'm thirsty, get me a drink." Then he went to get his drinks and he threw some drinks at her because he was all like, "Oh, I've returned with your drinks, mistress. Here, I've warmed them up with my body heat." And he like opens his shirt and drinks fall out. Those drinks were CG. It was kind of weird. Um, when he was chained up, you could obviously tell the chains were CG because they were flat and had like one texture, no
Mm.
matter when they moved. So I was like, hmm. Also, in some certain places, maybe it's the version I watched, but could tell there were layers in the animation. Like the background was like this static layer, and then the characters in front were moving around, and there was an obvious difference how they looked.
Mhm.
Oh, so it had like weird parallaxing.
Maybe because they did some wipes, like, oh, here's one scene, and then they wiped, and then there's a different scene, but the characters were staying still, I guess. But so yeah, there's some weird ass CG in some parts, but it's not really that breaking because a lot of the focus is on the characters' movement. So that was like that's where they focus most of their budget there, and you can tell and whatnot. So it doesn't really bother me that much. But yeah, what else? I guess that's how it looks. Fight scenes, pretty cool, I guess. The way the characters are drawn, pretty cool, I guess. What else?
What about the so there's not that much like action though, right? Yeah, Big Rig. By the way, Big Rig was like, I was only listening. And I thought for sure the synopsis was Chainsaw. You know, I totally agreed because in this, so I was listening to Toast talk about it, and in the middle, I almost mistook it for Chain Soldier, honestly. But wait, can I ask? So can I ask real
So,
quickly, at least
what?
first, up about the opening ED, real quick
I
before we.
they're okay. I don't think. I'm sorry. It's not it's no creepy nuts. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean that's
It's
a little
okay.
bit
It's like
difficult.
it's
That's a
creepy
little
nut.
bit difficult
It's freaking
for the one.
overshadowed everything else in my head, and
Bing bang, yeah.
I don't.
But
Who's saying it? I don't know. I don't know.
this the opening is apparently Otoa by Taiyo to Odore
I don't
Tsukiyo
know who those.
Nyutai,
I don't know who those are.
and the ending is Gift by Ishihara Kaori. So,
I know Ishihara Kaori, but oh yeah.
but
What else
yeah,
did you want to ask?
audiovisuals, voice acting cast.
Okay, so the voice act cast is pretty. They're big. They're big here.
Yeah.
Amane Lily is voiced by Ayane Sakura, who does an Ayane Sakura voice. And Uchida Yuma
Wait a
is
minute. Can I talk about is one of the supporting characters really voiced by Nozawa Masako? What's happening,
I'll
man?
bring that up in a bit.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so the main character is voiced by Uchida Yuma, who has a pretty unique voice, who does like
Yes,
pretty
yes.
soft spoken at sometimes. You can tell it's him. And then let's see. Then who was the guy? What's that guy's name?
Tanigawa Yuya is voiced by Umeda Shuichiro.
Yeah, that guy. That guy who you just mentioned is one of, I guess, their classroom friends because Akutsu and Amane Lily are in the same class.
Mhm.
Umeda Shuichiro sounds familiar. Who is he?
He's done a couple of protagonist things recently, if I
Oh,
remember
he's
correctly.
this main dude in Zom 100. All right, I'll give him that.
Yes, 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 yes.
And he's
He's been up and coming.
the voice of the dog in Inukai-san's dog. Oh hell yeah, hell yeah. But yeah. Then Hirota Kensuke, another one of the dudes in their class, who apparently is a horned dog that has confessed multiple times to Amane Lily, is voiced
Nice.
by Shunichi Toki. I don't know who this is. I'm sorry, I don't know. I don't know much about main or male VAs unless they're like cream of the crop. I don't know who this.
I mean, both. If I remember correctly, well, again, we talked about Shishiru Umeda, but Shinichi Toki is a little bit. If I remember correctly, he is. I forget actually, because I know he had like a couple of supporting. Uh, what is it? Supporting roles.
Oh shit, he's the main character in Heavenly Delusion. What's it called? Your favorite? What is it
Heavenly
called?
Delusion.
Heavenly Delusion magazine, monthly
The monthly
magazine.
Oh,
Delusion
we
magazine,
Yeah.
I think. Yes.
So good for him. Yeah. But then his childhood friend slash girlfriend, who I guess is trying to go out with the dude, is voiced by Toyama Now. That's cool. And she has the Toyama Now character has a rivalry with Amani Lily because the dude likes her, but like
Hmm.
he's oblivious to the childhood friend's feelings. So the the rival love interest is Tanahashi Yuka. So they have this thing where like, oh, Toyama Now tells Ayane Sakura like, oh, you're so short and tiny, and then she's like, damn, you're fat. I guess that's their rival. That's their rivalry slash friendship because apparently that's how they portray girl relationships. They're always catfighting, I guess.
What?
so
So
true,
is
honestly.
this is this episodic, by the way, or what is this?
What do you mean? So the whole thing of their shtick is that they have this, I guess, Kaguya-sama like um what is it? Kaguya-sama like it's not diet. What's the word? Dynamic. Thank you. Dynamic where they're like where Amane Lily tries to get Akutsu to fall in love with her and become like her obedient slave and whatnot.
Okay.
So they're like flirty, lovey-dovey with each other
Uh-huh.
and whatnot. Like
Oh,
and
I
it
get what
is
you mean by with the Kaguya-sama comparison now. Okay,
and
okay,
then
okay.
like he does the same thing back to hers. Like, oh, I'll never go along with your schemes. I'm gonna
Yes,
turn
yes, yes.
you into like a fallen angel, and you're gonna help me with my schemes and whatnot. And this is where you brought up Nozawa Masako up in there because when they're doing their like, oh, we're trying to outflirt each other.
Uh-huh.
This is where the two weird characters you see, Chum, the cat faced dude, versus Joe, the dog faced dude or wolf faced dude.
Mhm.
They have this thing where they're having this mental battle. They kind of show up like stands like behind them, but then when they're doing their flirty lovey dovey stuff, they're in a boxing ring, like Ippo style boxing rings, and there's like
Oh,
even
really?
announcer everything. So yeah, so you have Joe, the dog faced dude, and that's Nozawa Masako, but
Right, right,
and that's Joe is Akutsu's stand, whatever.
right. Oh, okay, 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 okay,
And then you
okay.
have Chum, which is the cat face, and that's Amane Lily's stand. And interestingly enough, Chum is voiced by Tanaka Mayumi. And if you recognize that pairing, that's literally Goku versus Krillin, or oh, I'm sorry, Goku versus Luffy.
Mhm.
So whatever they did to get those two in, that's pretty cool. There was even a moment where Chum did a Dempsey roll, and I was like, damn, Luffy's going all in on Goku and whatnot. And that's like, and I mean, and then I haven't even brought up like, what is it? The other like big names in here.
Yeah,
Akutsu's
there's
superior.
the
Akutsu's
general like
superior
supporting cast is very stacked.
is this demon named Liz. She's the one who sent him to. She's the one who sent him to Earth to find the candidate, and that's voiced by Kugumi Rie.
Yes, Kugirie.
And you can tell it's immediately her, even though she's trying to do like an Onesan voice, but like no, literally Kugumi Rie.
Yeah, if she does like kudere kind of voice, or like something, yeah, if she does like a kudere kind of voice, then it's kind of okay. But then beyond that, it kind of ends up being.
Then like their homeroom teacher, this bald dude, is Yamaji Kazuhiro, who voices the long beard dude in Spy Family. The what is it? The principal of the academy? What's his name? What's the academy name? I don't remember. I'm sorry. He's also Bang from One Punch Man,
Mhm.
so pretty obvious voice. And then there was this I believe it was like this other angel that shows up later, Amane Lilia, who's voiced by Ishihara Kaori.
Yes.
So like, damn, what these new these or these new these voice actors, you can tell them immediately. So yeah, a star-studded cast all around, even the supporting characters in here.
How is? Can I ask how the? I guess you've watched all of the episodes. Is this only 12 episodes? It's gonna get a second
I
season, or
believe
what is it?
I believe I'm only on episode 11 right now. I don't think I've episode 12 hasn't aired yet.
Is it going to end in
I
12
believe this is
episodes? Do you
only
think?
12 episodes. Yeah.
It's only
Is it
12.
gonna be like, oh, they're gonna run off into the sunset, or is it gonna get a second season, or what are your predictions here?
I mean, I hope it gets next season. I quite like this dynamic and the story in
Okay, so
this
for right
series
now,
quite a
it's
bit.
just gonna be one season, and then it's gonna be like the last episode is just they finish up the whatever remaining mini arc, and then they're just gonna run off into the
Yeah, it'll
sunset.
probably
Is
just
that?
be like more adventures to come, viewer.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, what else? Yeah, series pretty good.
All
It's
right.
a rom com slash it's a rom com that's a lot more tamer than a chained soldier, even though he's like a slave to her, do her bidding and whatnot. But they have this dynamic where they try to romance each other because they obviously have feelings for each other in some way and whatnot. And then wacky hijinks with some with other characters and whatnot. Yeah,
Okay.
like
Pretty good.
most of the battles is we've encountered this demon, help me exorcise it, or oh, there's an angel, I gotta fight this angel for some mysterious reason.
But
And yeah,
there's no how much action is there? There's not. Is there actual like action, or is it just
I
like
mean, what
them
kind
doing
of
clever things? Is it like a hot? I keep thinking like, are they like mostly just talking and doing like slapstick to solve the problems, or is it like some Hataraku sama situation where like at the near the end of the episode there is actually some like
I
blasting?
mean, if I was I was talking about the flirting earlier, and they have the boxing sequence. Does that count as action to you?
Oh, okay, no. But beyond, like, there's no
Yeah,
serious like
because
action or
she's
anything like
going
that.
out to exterminate demons, and he helps her and whatnot. So yeah, they fight demons
Okay.
and angels and whatnot.
Okay. All
But
right.
yeah,
I guess what would you rate it?
I don't well, overall, I like the series quite a bit. It's pretty funny, very memorable voice cast. If you like
Mhm.
Ayane Sakura, you'll definitely like her sadistic, s- this sadistic character she's playing.
Yeah,
Some of the
honestly, Ayane Sakura has been. I mean, again, and I've praised her for this before, but she's always been one of the most flexible Japanese, voice actresses out there, in my opinion. She can do tomboy, she can do like a regular like girl kind of thing. She can do, Shota kind of voice here. Just and obviously this sort of One-san kind of stuff too as well. It's just really good range all around, to be honest. So
yeah, fight scenes are pretty good. There was some cool Sakuga I saw, whatnot.
Sakugs.
Yeah, some Kino Sakugs every now and then.
Nier is
Overall,
already drooling.
overall a very pleasant series.
Okay.
I don't know why it's ranked 6.46 on Mall. What the hell? That sounds pretty low for what it is.
I think
What
it's
kind
probably
of
just lack of brand recognition
yeah.
on the mouse side.
What kind of humor is it? Like generally.
Probably slapstick slash manzai.
And there's
Right.
some slapstick, slapstick humor, whatever, because and whatnot. There's the flirty humor, and whatnot. Like, it's like,
Yeah.
oh damn, this guy's being flirty. It made my heart skip a beat. But then it's like, oh, then when they're having their stand fights, like, damn, he gut punched me. And then
Is
when
it
she,
like Because I remember during the previews, I kind of got like SYD vibes from this. Is it like dirty at all, or
no, not really. There was a scene where like, oh, where the dude was like, oh, you have to punish me because his slave collar activated. He's like, oh, my butt hurts. You have to punish me on my butt. She's like, damn, I better kick your butt.
but they don't really like play up the SM stuff much, or
There's some, but it's like,
It's probably not like this on the same level as Mahoako, in my
I
opinion.
mean, no,
right?
I wasn't. I mean, Mahawako is like fucking smut, dude. But
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you know, I was just because I feel like
Do they lean into sort of those sorts of
yeah,
themes?
because
Is
the
what you're.
vibe I got
Yeah, 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 yeah.
from the PV was kind of
not
like
too much.
the whole dynamic was like the SM thing. But if it's
Not too much. It's mostly the flirty stuff, and then
okay,
the stand battle they have with each other. I guess that's why I
gotcha.
mentioned Kaguya-sama. What else? Yeah, I mean, overall, I like it quite a bit. Uh, I guess um, the biggest praise I can usually give a series like this is it definitely made me want to read the manga. Like, because this is a manga, so I definitely want to know what happens next. Good characters, good development, decent-ish adaptation, even though it has some weird animation spots that I've noticed. But the characters are drawn well, whatnot. A lot of the animation focuses on the characters, so which is, I guess, the most important thing. I mean, overall, it's a solid 9.3 out of 10. I don't have any qualms about it.
9.3 out of 10. Wow.
That's very specific.
What happened to the last 0.7 or so?
I mean, that wonky ass CG, my dude.
Oh, okay,
Damn.
okay.
Takes off a whole 0.07 points.
Okay, pretty good.
Yeah,
I
so
guess any last words?
it's definitely a high recommend for me for your
Okay.
romantic comedy esque hijinks this season. What else came out this season that was romantic comedy?
Quite a lot, right? I mean, as per usual. So,
Uh,
Yubisaki Torennen, I think, at least was one, right?
I watched that and I was like, oh
No, Yubisaki Terurin is not a romantic comedy. It has, I mean, it has comedy,
was
but
there?
it's not heavy on comedy at all.
I think I'm thinking of Kekko and Yubi. The
Oh,
engagement
Kekko
ring
and
off.
Yubisaki
Yubi
Terurin
no
is the
Muruga.
deaf girl.
It's like,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I guess that's a rom-com. Yeah, I guess that's a rom-com.
You, I mean, I watched that and I was like, I don't want to cover this. I feel bad.
I mean, the Kekko and Yubi no Monogatari is just kind of like whatever. So, but anyways,
That's why I skipped that over for this.
yeah, I read that before and I was like, I don't want to watch this. Like, I'll cover it if I have to, but like, I don't want to really. But anyways,
Why Aspire? You don't like NTR? I thought you liked NTR.
there's no NTR in that series,
Are you
right? What are you
sure?
talking about? Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Do you,
I'm very sure.
Spire, let me ask you, how do you consummate a wedding?
With NTR.
Oh yeah, with
He
NTR, I
says, "Oh, I
apologize.
like you," but then these other girls come in, and he has to consummate a wedding with them.
Oh, are you talking about like because it's like the harem, like the wedding ring thing? Yeah, I guess that's NTR in a sense. Yeah, because it's like
But
in
Spire,
that sense that like every harem is NTR, right? Like so,
It
you
is.
know,
True. That's true.
You are
that
on
is
to
true. Yeah,
something.
GG.
but Spire,
Checkmate,
he
Andy.
needs their
Yeah.
power. That's why he has to Kekko and Yubi them, even
Yeah,
though he likes this
I
one
can't
girl.
go Yu-Gi-Oh! Yes, he does have to use get their rings and stuff. But anyways, thank you, Toast. Again, this was Foolish Angel Dances with the Devil, again also known as Oroka na Tenshi wa Akuma to Odoru. Manga original came out pretty good, done by Child's Playground Entertainment, who did like a couple other series, including the Forbidden Fruit of Evolution, that one isekai series, as well as
I will say that of their what is it? What's their children's entertainment studio, right?
yeah, Children's Playground Entertainment. Yeah,
Of their works, this is the best one, bar none.
yeah. Faraway Paladin. I mean, Faraway Paladin was okay, but the issue was I think the source material was a little bit iffy, and it had at least a couple of pacing issues in
Yeah,
terms of getting transformed into a proper anime. So that was a little bit rough around the edges. Again, Fruit of Evolution. I think the source material was a little bit.
that,
It could.
that's not good. It wasn't good.
Yeah, yeah. But this one is definitely pretty solid. So if you do like this sort of stuff, again, something a little bit akin to something like Kaguya-sama, again, as you would say, please do check this out. All right. Next on the chopping block, Dark. What do you have for us?
I have a series whose name I will not read out the full of because it's very long.
Yes, this
I'll
is
give
I
you
can read it out for you.
Saijaku Tamer.
Yes, this is the weakest
Oh
tamer
damn!
began a journey to pick up trash, also known in Japanese as Saijaku Tema wa Gomihiroi no Tabi wo Hajimemashita. So this is a light novel or this web novel original, right? Probably. Naruke, probably.
More than
No, this is
likely.
a light novel. This is a light
That
novel
title.
Oh,
original.
this is
Unless it
started out as a
started
light
as
novel.
like a web
Okay.
novel, and then I don't know.
No,
Manga
it
says
started
light
as web novel
so-
on Shousetsuka ni Naro initially,
Okay.
and then it went into light novel. Yes,
The usual
Yeah.
course for.
So-
the usual. Yes.
Yeah, this is a little show about a I forget. I believe she is 8 at the start of the series, 8 years old. 8-year-old girl in a village.
Everybody's
And
favorite.
yeah, she is born in a world where you're basically given essentially like RPG style skills based on and your like levels are based on stars. And the gods like sort of ordain you with those. So you could have like, up to like 4 stars in defense, like swordsmanship, something like that. And it kind of predetermines what like you're gonna do with yourself, and how skilled you are in combat. Now you can make up for that by training in a way, like someone with a 1-star defense skill could like overcompensate by training in defense or like evasion and still beat someone who has like 3 stars in defense or something, right? Like it's not a predetermined thing as far as outcomes go. However, this girl was born, I believe it is on, I forget what birthday it is, to be honest with you, but on a certain birthday everyone gets a certain amount of stars, right? Like their stars are revealed essentially. And she was revealed to have no stars. She is a no star tamer. And that is supposed to be essentially it's not so much
Wait,
that it
this is
brings
just like
misfortune.
soul leveling.
Yeah. It's not so much that it
Wow.
brings misfortune, but people like, are superstitious about it and think it does because, that is a sign that the gods have not like chosen you for anything, essentially. Right? Like they have essentially think it's like the gods have looked down on you. And so she essentially gets chased out of her village because the village chief is an asshole, and conspires against her and this what do you call it? This fortune teller who she's friends with, in order to like, I guess like gain more prominence, and just have people back him, for village chief. And yeah, so she gets chased out by them. Her own family essentially abandons her. And the fortune teller essentially sets her off on the journey to get to the capital city, and try and like find a place where she belongs. Long story short, the world was not always based on stars, and that is like a not a relatively new thing, but it is something that is like essentially unnatural to the world. No one really knows why. No one really remembers that being the case, but the fortune teller does. And yeah, so that kind of is what kicks off the whole like journey of our now main character Ivy trying to find out where to essentially live and friends and where she belongs. And along the way, she finds a slime that is extremely rare, but extremely weak. They are named a like disintegrating slimes. They only live for about a day or less, and they can even be popped by like the wind. And so upon seeing this slime, she tames it because since it's so weak, her 0-star taming skill can actually tame it. So she tames it, names it Sora, and it's kind of like this really somber experience of like, you know, this thing is going to probably die before the next morning. And so she takes care of it, protects it, and then lo and behold, the next morning, he does not disappear. And then yeah, and so this slime turns out to be or rather she names it Sora. And that kind of winds up being the series like co-companion. Though it doesn't like actually speak, but it does start having like, you know, vocalization. And this slime like feeds on what do you call it, health potions. And so basically it turns into her dumpster diving for health potions for a while, and then meeting people along the way while she's traveling to the capital city. Not going to get into every arc from there, but this turns into like a mini arcs series, essentially, of her getting to each city, meeting some people, something like, you know, she'll get tangled up into some sort of not. It doesn't always have to be a conspiracy, but it could be like a, you know, a larger sort of group or just general ne'er-do-wells. And the local, essentially, like the local people supporting her along the way. And
So-
yeah, this is
So how strong
very
is she,
cozy
Dark?
series. She is very weak. She's the weakest. However, what this series likes to do is drive home the idea of connections and sort of her gathering up connections with extremely strong people. Sora itself,
How does she
himself
make these
becomes pretty
connections here?
just pretty much happenstance, right? Like on her travels, this series kind of does I wouldn't really call it like a trope, but I mean it is the thing of like, you know, she's chased out of her original town for not having stars. Yet that was egged on mostly by the village chief. And now some of the people she meets wind up, they don't find out she has no stars, but they, you know, make the assumption that she is either a 1-star or just like exceedingly weak. But, you know, like she winds up meeting like good people that don't
Yeah, because
really
my
mind that.
my thing is that a lot of the times in these sorts of like isekai series, especially the ones that are like power fantasy series, right? For example, these sorts of connections are made in a very standard structure, right? And this structure will be the guy comes across and initially the acquaintance or the stranger meets the protagonist and doesn't really trust them and or goes like, oh, what's this guy all about? And then the protagonist does something cool or helps them out or something like that, and the stranger slash soon to be sidekick says, oh, or thinks to themselves, oh, this guy is actually really good and nice and they use their power for good. And so I want to be with them. And they kind of tag along. And that's sort of the general flow of things. But obviously, this is not as really possible with this character, right? Because she's not
Yeah,
that
I mean,
strong. So how does this structure work?
it does the sort of, you know, not inverse, but like, um, you know, this is an 8-year-old girl traveling alone,
Right, yeah, exactly.
though
That's why I'm
posing as
curious,
a
yeah.
boy. So it's like her connections are like, you know, the captain of like one of the towns, like guardsman captain of one of the of one of like the city / town she's going through. And he's like a big deal, but like he is a gruffer, like a gruffer guy, voiced by Miyake Kenta.
No, nice.
He's doing a very gravelly voice. But he's like a nice, like a nice guy with a like sort of scarier appearance because you know he's a big guy with like a scar on his face.
You'd
And
say
an
he's a
intensity.
guard.
Yeah, he's a captain.
Does he have? Is
He's
there
like the
anything
captain.
wrong with his knee?
No, no.
I just I kind of am curious about how the cast structure or the cast interactive structure is formulated in terms of what I mean is that so is this like if it's I uchi musume, is this like an uchi musume kind of thing where everybody's kind of surrounding this little kid kind of structure going on? It's a little bit more of like a weird
Yes.
reverse harem, but with like a lead structure or lolly structure, or like what's going on here?
No, it is
with the network?
literally
Yeah.
like
Uchi musume.
this character is coming in and this is now everyone's either stand-in daughter / like younger sibling.
Okay.
Yeah, like they
And
are.
is
It
the
turns into like a lot of the adventures being like exceptionally like protective, and more so a case of Ivy trying to overcome like you know her trauma with her village and like learning to trust them. To tell them about like Sora, to tell them about you know her being like starless, and things like that. And it's a lot of flashbacks to the fortune teller, sort of giving her this advice, and the fortune teller seeming to be a more not an omnipotent character, but like a much more semi you know a fortune teller like can has like preordained essentially the right path for her to walk to find like you know a good life in this world. The fortune teller may also be like a semi omnipotent like being because like she technically like dies, but this series is technically an isekai.
yeah.
I didn't mention that because it's borderline irrelevant, and the only thing that the isekai plays into is Ivy every now and then will hear like these chimes, and it's implied that like her past self is like personality is like chiming in with like some knowledge that may or may not even be useful. It is a much looser isekai. It's almost like a even looser bookworm in the sense that like this is very much its own person and there is like a sort of like voice looking in, but isn't in like direct control in that sense. But yeah, I mean it adds a little bit, but it doesn't really do a whole lot, and it's not like really in your face, so it's pretty much fine. It doesn't what I do like appreciate about it is it doesn't really do anything like, oh, this is like a video game or something or an RPG. It kind of leaves the world to itself, and then the isekai like person or personality is, like I said, like literally just chimes when it is going to chime in, and it kind of just sort of it might compare things to either like the other world or just give like greater context to like certain people's behavior sometimes. So
I'm
it's
also
just like
curious about
a head start in knowledge for Ivy essentially, more or less.
I'm also curious about the general structure of the adventures. Where it's like, is it real? Is it like mini arcs of dungeon crawling, or is there like a specific foreshadowing that it's like a mini arc, but with like a foreshadowing where she has to go out and she's kind of aiming, she's kind of or being led to aim for defeating this kind of like mid boss or boss-ish
No,
character,
no, there's
or
there's
is
no
it like
actual. When I say adventurers, I mean like they are adventurers in the sense of like, yeah, there are like some fucking ogres we have to kill, like
so it's more like a slow
outside.
life
There are
kind of
no
thing
dungeons. Yeah,
almost?
yeah, it is
Yeah,
very
yeah,
slow
okay.
life. They are like, we're adventurers. We like run around.
I
We
just want
kill
to
monsters for
understand the
people.
tone. Yeah. Okay.
And
Okay.
she gets entangled with like, obviously like the guards first, and then the larger like the adventurer group second, but they are situated like in a town, in a large
Okay.
like city.
Okay.
And yeah, like her reason for sticking with the adventurers is that, they have their own like encampment site within the cities that are just like, here's like an open like field within the city that all the adventurers have like hang out in, because it's like, they can't really use like inns because obviously they're adventurers. They have a shitload of gear. So they set up camps, and that's kind of like the most inconspicuous place she could be. But yeah, so it is a very slow life, like cozy series with like, there are arcs where like, oh man, there's like a evil organization, and Ivy gets tangled up in it, and winds up like assisting, the overthrowing of said organization. I won't give away too much or how. But yeah, it's kind of a lot of that. It's a lot of like I said, the main crux is Ivy sort of overcoming trust issues at the end of the day, and learning to sort of put that forward to people, and that like not everyone is like, most people in the world are going to be like just fine, and not these like superstitious freaks that were in your main town, like in your original town.
But Dark, why does she not just get stronger?
Because you're not allowed to, because the gods are pieces of shit.
But what if
And
0 stars
don't
means she has
think,
unlimited potential?
yeah,
She
I
doesn't have a
really
star
doubt that's
cap.
the case. Like I said, the fortune teller described like, we used to she basically just says, we used to work together, and like the whole like starless thing was nothing, like it was meaningless. There was no like stars that anyone had. If you needed to fight a monster, everyone had to band together to fight a monster. There was no thing of like, oh, this person has this skill, so have to send them out. So I do wonder if this series, as it goes longer, gets into a little bit more of that. I think that would be a little bit interesting as like sort of a background aspect. But overall, I really enjoy this series. I think it's very cozy. I think it's very fun. Um, I would highly recommend like watching the OP and EDs, because they are very, very cheesy. And the opening is like a character, a CV opening. And yeah, like very, very literal songs, very like, again, like lyric, like very literal, like lyrically. But very cute, very nice.
Did you? Oh yeah, Studio Masket is like
Yeah,
not a
Studio
company that
Masket,
I've
they are new.
heard.
They are completely new for the most part. As far as their credentials, they have done like music videos.
Yeah,
Other
they've
than
done like
this,
second animation for a couple of series here and there, but I
yeah, yeah.
think
As far
they're
as like what
in
they've
terms of like
led is
yeah,
literally like
yeah,
they've
yeah.
led music videos.
That's the thing. Yeah, exactly.
So this is a very nice
Yeah, this is
first
their
showing, I would
literally their
say.
first like yeah, this is their first
Yeah,
main.
visually, this is not like the prettiest series in the world, but it is also not ugly. It is a very standard, I would say like lower end budget series, but I think it looks
That's
good for what it
important.
is.
Yeah.
I don't think it's and I don't think it's too bad. It's not like I think they do a lot with it. I don't think it like falls apart at all, or like, you know, you're like, damn, there's like no motion here or anything. So I think they do a very good job on that budget. And I would say one of my highlights for this series too is probably that Ivy is being voiced by Suzuki Aina, who I know most prevalently, and everyone should, because newer Love Live, ew, yucky, gross. Who cares? Who cares about those newer Love Live characters? The real shit is this is Jashin Chan's voice actress, okay?
Yes.
And she's doing a killer job because, as I had said earlier, Ivy is disguising herself, or like, not disguising herself, but trying to pass herself as a boy, because you know, typically, like, don't want to be a young girl traveling alone, regardless of
Yes.
regardless of fantasy location or not.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what's really interesting is Suzuki Aina is doing a like huskier voice for that, in that sense, a much more
Oh,
tomboyish
okay,
voice.
okay.
However, she is not, as she drops it as Ivy gains more trust in people. She slowly starts to drop it more and more around like familiar people, and internally she drops that like tomboyish
The
voice.
Japanese kind of, yeah.
So I think that very very
Yeah,
that
taking
she
care
did.
of that like little detail. For
Yeah,
sure.
it's really really nice. Whereas like they really didn't need to do it, or they could have kept it up the entire time for the directing, like, right, like even internally. But the fact that they specifically separated that was very nice.
Yeah. But yeah, Suzuki Aina, for those of you who don't know, again, did do Justin Chan main character, and her probably kind of most famous role is doing Oharamari, which was one of the main sort of idols, I guess, for Love Live Sunshine, for of course the second generation of the Love Live 2D idol kind of franchise, right? So she's most famous for that, but yeah, does obviously a very good job in here as well. And I think in general, I think Saijaku Tamer had a pretty decent list, right? Suzuki Aina here. Let me see. Tamura Mutsuki, Miyake Kenta, I think, as you said. Toriumi Kosuke is pretty good too. Namikawa Daisuke, Tomoaki Maeno, yeah, pretty. Morikawa Toshiyuki, yeah, a decent number of known, like, pretty well known main male voice actors as well here. So, pretty good list. So,
Yeah, overall the voice work is very very good. Like I said, the music is also very nice. The actual OST itself, I forget. Let me look up. I had the director pulled up, and I don't know why I did that. Remember, this was, oh yeah, so this has like co-directors, and one of the directors has done, like, you know, a lot of episode directing, like, however, I believe there was, what was the other co-director is Yamauchi Shigeyasu.
yes, he is a very prolific director.
Yeah, so like kind of insane that he's credited on this. Just kind of out of nowhere. So this is
Yeah,
this is probably
by the way, if you
like,
don't know who Yamauchi is, he's been, directors for a lot of the Dragon Ball Z movies, especially like, like the Dragon Ball Z Brawly movies and stuff like that. He did a lot of the Saint Seiya movies, stuff like that. A lot of the
Kenshin
older,
Sins.
yeah. So pretty big, or
But have you seen the
pretty
new
prolific.
Saint Seiya movie?
I
I'm
have
sorry,
I haven't
Knights
seen
of
not.
the
one.
Zodiac.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So he's the chief director in this.
Yeah.
And so the other director, yeah, like, damn, crazy start, I would. I think the directing in this is quite good. I think the pacing of the series is quite good.
Mhm.
Flowing
Is
very
this 12
well.
episodes here?
Yes, it is. I
And
will say,
is it wrapping up here,
yeah,
or is it like
It's
okay?
wrapping up with like a well, no, I mean it's wrapping up in the sense of like it's finishing the arc that Ivy's currently on. It is not getting
Right,
to the
right.
end of the series, like even remotely close.
Yeah. Obviously, there's a lot of material there as
Yeah,
well, but
so I would hope that this gets more because
mhm.
it's quite fun. But yeah,
All right.
not a ton else. I would say if you like some cheap like feel good stuff, uh, then I would say give this a look.
All right. Mal rating, please.
I think the mall rating is currently like pretty fair. I would say I would round
Mhm.
it off and give it a
Oh,
7.5. The current
yeah.
mall
Right
rating
now it's
is
7.44. Yeah.
7.44. Yeah,
Yes.
I would say like a 7.5 would be pretty fair for this series. For me, I quite like it a lot. I think the story is nice. I think a lot of character interactions are great. I would say where it falls, where it like has its missteps, is with the like budget and art.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like this would be if this had like stellar like killer art, this for me would be like perfect essentially.
Okay.
As like a very very fun.
Yeah, it seems like a very because the thing is that this treads a. It doesn't seem like it, but to me, it treads a very careful balance. Like it mixes and balances the whole. It does the isekai stuff or power, not like soul life kind of stuff, but while also trying to kind of pull in the people who kind of watch stuff like Bofuri or like strong female protagonists doing stuff, but then at the same time it's also trying to pull in like the Uchi Musume crowd. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
it's like trying to do that, but like it's a little bit harder to do that than expected because again, at the end of the day, um, your protagonist is a little girl. It's like a little, especially like not a strong girl. It's not like one of those, it's like villain like cheat heroines where it's like, oh, I get like infinite money or like I get teleportation or whatever it is, right? And even in some of the other little girl protagonist series, uh, I guess one of the more famous ones being Bookworm, right? Like Bookworm, her power, I mean, like obviously physically she was not powerful, but like she had a lot of power in the whole like, using the Japanese knowledge and doing that sort of stuff, right?
yeah,
Um, so she was quite capable there, but obviously this is like a different angle, right? So I think this series holds a very nice balance, while kind of striking its unique perspective on this sort of genre, if that makes sense. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
And like I said, like it's just a very very cozy time.
yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much, Dark. And again, this was the. Let me read this. This is the weakest tamer began a journey to pick up trash, also known as Saijaku Tama wa Gomihiroi no Tabi o Hajimemashita.
So,
Excuse
in
me.
terms of weakest tamer, how weak is she? Is she the strongest of the weakest tamers, or the
The
weakest?
strongest of the weakest. The
I mean,
strongest of the
she's
weakest users, yeah.
technically like she's probably. I mean, it depends. Like we've really only been introduced to like one other tamer in this series, so like the problem is that other tamer like also had slimes, and those slimes could like have a special ability of like being particularly able to devour weaponry and
Mhm.
dispose of trash. So the problem is like is there someone who can like tame a fucking dragon? Then like sure. But I without getting into spoilers,
how strong is her
Sora
slime?
is pretty strong for what his abilities wind up being. So
Mm.
I'm
So you're
not
saying
going
it's a
to
strong
spoil
slime?
anything, but he is quite the quite the party member.
So she's
in
not
that
weak at
sense.
all. What a lie.
Well, I mean, she is. It's just that
Yeah.
she was able
She
to
has some
build up
growth,
the
but
slime.
still, yeah.
But like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
how weak are we talking? Are we talking like average 8-year-old weak? Or
Well,
like,
again, like yeah, but also again, like I said, like as a 0-star tamer, the only thing she could tame was literally a slime that would normally just get like popped by wind, right? Like, like
if she was a
that
Dragon's
was the
Dogma character, what would she? How would she be like a throwable pawn or what?
she wouldn't even be she would be an NPC. That was it.
Yeah.
Like, she wouldn't be
Man,
a person
do you
walking
remember
around.
the romance system in Dragon's Dogma 1? That was whack. It
Yeah,
was
anyway.
literally the person you talk to the most becomes your beloved at the end. And for
Oh
most people, it
yeah.
was the shop NPC. And I was like, ugh, good stuff.
Oh
Good game.
yeah. Like I said, would
Anyways.
highly recommend that. Also, just to reiterate, one of the highlights I would say, check out the OP and ED. The ED
Yep.
especially has some pretty nice art. So
But is it better than
All right.
Creepy Nuts?
no,
All right. Well,
Creepy Nuts is Creepy Nuts' new song.
Yeah.
Like I said, very literal songs. Very like
Yes.
corny songs. So
Yeah. Anyways, we do have to wrap up. Thank you very much, Dark. Again, if you do like these sorts of slow life stuff, but with like very nicely done a variant of it, please do check it out. And now we move on to Nier. What do you have for us?
I watched.
Hey man, you got one of the more hyped series of the
yeah,
season.
you
It
got
must
such
be
a
good,
sick
right?
series.
Yeah,
Yeah,
don't-
yeah.
So
Nier,
fucking
I
cool.
thought-
It was hyped before the season started.
I'm gonna
Nier,
mean it's good, bro.
don't you love Bubblegum Crisis? I thought you
I
liked
do.
Dirty Pair.
I do. So I watched Metallic Rouge.
Yes,
Which is
this is the Bone series of the
yes,
season, I believe.
This is this series Bones original.
Yes, that means it must be doubly good.
That means it must be fucking awesome, right? It must be really fucking good.
Just like Buchigiri was really good, bro.
Yes, dude.
Don't worry,
Fuck
Nier.
me.
Bones, Mappa.
Don't worry, Nier. You'll get your favorite series just got a season 2.
That's true. That's true.
Oh my
So
God.
Bones, if you don't know, famous for Bungo Stray Dogs.
Mhm.
Not you know, they do My Hero Academia. They did Mob Psycho. You know, Vanitas, Skeet, The Infinity. You know,
Yeah, they're a fan
kind of
favorite.
good, right?
They're a fan
They're
favorite.
kind of
for a
a
reason,
they're kind of a big
yes.
studio.
Yeah.
They push out a lot of really nice looking stuff. They have some very, very talented animators working for them.
Yes.
And they typically pick up pretty high profile series.
Yes.
And it's not too often that Bones does originals. Right? I think
Yes.
Skate was like the last one, and I think before that was Carol and Tuesday.
Oh yes, you are correct. I think
Yep.
yes.
And I think before that was Masutan original? Yes, it was.
What about Godzilla Singular Plot? Isn't that technically
it's
original?
technically original, but
yeah.
it's based off an
Yeah.
existing IP.
So you're
Yeah.
saying they don't have any original series other than
I
this?
literally just listed 3.
Yeah,
Let's try again.
literally, yeah. What
But,
the fuck?
But yeah,
Anyways.
I think their most famous original series would be Darker Than
Hero
Black,
Man?
right?
Oh.
Yeah, Darker Than Black for sure. Yeah.
But
I
Nier, what
agree.
about Hero Man? That was a Stan Lee one.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll just go over the cast real quick. Was it director Motonobu Hori? I believe he worked on Carol and Tuesday, did he not? Yeah, he was
The
the director
director,
for
yeah.
Carol and Tuesday. He's also the storyboarder. And one of the
Yeah,
key
so they brought in
animators.
like they brought in the internal kind of core
Yeah.
the Bones people in. Yeah.
From what I've gathered from the core staff, it's a good chunk of the Carolyn Tuesday staff.
Okay.
The writer for this worked on what was it? What was the main thing that it was? Super Cub. Yeah, he was the series composition for Super Cub.
Okay.
He also series composition for Log Horizon. And what was
That's
this?
not. I'm gonna be very honest, and this
Yeah,
might be an unpopular take.
yeah.
That's not a great record. I'm gonna be very straight.
He's also worked on what was it? Iron Blooded Orphans. He was selectively working on stuff like da here and there. Yeah. His rap sheet's not really something to be like, wow. But you know, he's got experience, I guess. But you know, there's also other writers working on this. Some of them have worked on stuff like Golden Kamui, stuff like that. So, but yeah, it's mostly just the core bone staff, with some other pulling in here. But yeah, there's not like, when you look at the talent behind this, you don't really like see big heavy hitters. So, you know, it's mostly just like, I think the bones staff that's kind of like carrying the hype on the back here. And I kind of just want to talk about, like, I guess the like before this came out, because this was pretty hyped up, right?
The visuals hyped it up a lot.
Yeah, so the promotional material for this,
yeah.
So I'll just say the promos for this were a lie, just straight up. They were completely misrepresenting what this series is. Cause the PVs and a lot of the early promotional key art and stuff sort of presents this as like a mix between something like almost like a Gunsmith Cats and like a Bubblegum Crisis kind of thing, where it's like this sort of like fun, like sci-fi thing where they're, you know, doing like this buddy cop duo, and you know, they're fighting bad guys, right? And that's not what this is even remotely.
What the fuck?
Not at all. So the basic premise for this
Hey, it was
is
for like 2 episodes, okay?
not really, because they in the first 2 episodes they didn't even know each other. So, but yeah, so the basic premise for this is a somewhat gritty neon cyberpunk world where there are these strange, like, alien slash robot, like cybernetic hybrid things. They call them neons, NEANs. They need this weird substance to survive, but that's not really very important because they literally dropped that after episode 1. And they don't have human rights. Shocker. Wow. Whoa. They're treated as like.
Do they go near? Do they have a separate like area at the back of the bus?
They don't show that. But
Do you
yes,
think they
this
would,
is
though?
they probably do. This
Hell
is
yeah.
effectively Detroit Become Human, with a gritty cyberpunk coat of paint.
I don't know. Near, remember they had the fist in Detroit. Did they have the fist in?
No, they don't.
Oh, well then they aren't as good.
Yeah. So the basic premise, initial setup is you have our main character, Rouge Red Star, who is one of these neon
That's too
things.
on point, don't you think?
And yeah, it's a little on the nose. And she's one of these neon things, and she has some secret mission that is not explained at all, and has given no exposition, and has not even been expanded upon really at all within the 8 episodes that I've watched.
You know what this is starting to sound like? This is starting to sound
Yeah.
like one of those one of the BlackRock shooter adaptations.
Yeah.
Sounds like you
Yeah.
should have waited
I
till
know,
the
right?
9th episode, near.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh
It
my
definitely
god.
gets better. It gets good 9 episodes in.
Yeah, you
Um,
don't understand, bro. You
yeah.
need to watch all of it.
And her mission is to hunt down what they label as the Immortal Nine, which are some sort of special
What?
neons that are able to transform into these weird Kamen Rider like things. And they fight good, and they don't explain why. They don't tell you why she has to do this, but she does.
Okay.
And they do that for about 2 episodes, and then they drop that. They're like, nah, that's not really what the series is about. And then it becomes this weird like I don't even know how to describe it.
You
So
mentioned something about Ergo Proxy.
yeah, so in episode 3, which is where I think this series starts to get really like disjointed. They get to this like city, right? And in this
Okay.
city, there's like this huge like camp, basically, right? Where all these like neons live. It's where these like it's basically a fucking slum, right? Where it's like a ghetto
Okay.
where these like cyborg people live, and they have to sneak into this like compound in order to get to this target, right? And in this compound, Rouge meets uh like a resistance force, basically, right?
Okay.
And they sort of go into the whole, yeah, we want to be free. We want to fight for our freedom, right? But the
Yeah.
issue is all of these cybernetic people are like literally implanted with like a I forget what they call it, but it's basically like a law that's like you
Oh,
cannot
the Asimov
harm
code.
humans. Yeah, the Asimov
The
code.
3 laws. Yeah, 3 laws
So
of
you
robotics.
cannot
Yeah,
harm a
blah blah.
human. You
Yeah.
cannot idly stand by while a human is harmed. Your actions
Yeah.
like cannot cause indirectly, you know, a harm to a human. And if you do any of these, you shut down. Basically, like you fucking die.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
and so that's their like dilemma, right? Is that like they want to fight for their freedom, but they literally have like no actual ability to do so. Like they don't even have the free will to fight. But Rouge does because she's built different. And Rouge kind of goes into this internal monologue of like, am I free or am I just a tool for those above me?
Okay.
And her partner, the dark skinned girl, Naomi, is like, yeah, you're a fucking tool, so get used to it. And then
Okay.
Rouge is like, no, I'm not. I'm not a tool. And then she runs away, and then she sneaks in like herself or whatever, and so
Okay.
she's on her own, and she's doing introspection things, right? And then like 5 minutes later, Naomi's like, maybe she's not a tool. Maybe I should help her.
Dang.
Yeah, so we've got real fucking character development going on.
Very creative.
And then for some reason, for literally no reason at all, actually, the resistance force is like, actually, we're gonna betray Naomi and we're gonna try to kill her. And
Okay.
then all of a sudden, the police are like, we need to go into this camp and kill all of the cyborgs for no reason at all. So we're just gonna
As you do.
start shooting them.
Such
And
a ton of
then
plastic.
and then the mob of the cyborgs is like, we need to kill Rouge. We need to kill Rouge now. And then Rouge starts defending the cyborgs, and then they're like, wait a minute, we shouldn't kill Rouge. And it's like, what the fuck is happening in this show?
Near,
Fucking unreal.
it's called free will. They've become sentient.
It's so stupid. And then one of the characters from the earlier episodes is like, I'm evil actually, and now we need to fight, Rouge. We need to fight. Are you free? You're not free. I'm free. And it's just like, it's the most fucking dog shit dialogue I've ever heard. On top of this, like, absolutely, like, completely disjointed, nonsensical plot with these characters that are, like, completely fucking bipolar and are, like, totally hollow. Like, they literally have no thoughts. It's just like, freedom? Am I
Oh,
free?
am I
Do I
truly
have
free? Do I
free will?
really? Do I really free?
Wait a minute. Who am I? It's just like, it's
Okay,
so
but
fucking shallow, dude.
have you considered how sick it was when they started talking about the different ministries?
Yeah, so they go on about this like freedom shit for a while. They do a bunch of these like disjointed episodes. By the way, immediately after that like whole camp thing, that kind of just like ends, and there's like literally no consequence to that at all. Like all those guys kind of just get shot, and nobody talks about that at all afterwards. The immediate episode after that, a wandering carnival comes into town, and
What the
for some reason they kidnap Rouge off screen. By the way, this happens completely off screen between episodes. Um, and then Rouge has some like weird fucked up dream sequence, and it's like it's literally like I don't even know what they're going for. I don't know if they're trying to do some like weird surrealist thing or not, but it kind of just made no like chronological sense at all. Um, and I guess they imply that her memories got fucked up or something, and she's like not sure of her own sense of self. But yeah, it's basically just like a complete fucking waste of an episode. And then immediately after that, they have this weird like like this show is so fucking disjointed. It's unreal.
The
So
Clue
immediately
episode?
after that, they do like this fucking episode where it's like, oh, we're on like a cruise ship for some reason now. We're
But it's
on
a
a cruise ship.
Is
Yeah,
it?
but
cruise ship
Is
it's
this
a
fucking
space.
Jormungand?
It's a
This is
space cruise
Jormungand?
ship.
What is this? What's happening?
And there's a killer. There's a killer on the space cruise ship, and uh, they're like a doppelganger, right? They like take on the form of other people.
Yeah,
And it's like,
also, but mind you,
like
by the way, they were like, who could the
by the
killer
time,
be? But
yeah,
you
by the
already were
time,
introduced to the doppelganger
yeah, we
character
already
like
know
5
who this
episodes
doppelganger
prior.
character is. Like 2 episodes before, they introduced this character and showed that he's a doppelganger. So it's like we already know. Like we know who this character is. Why are you making fucking mystery episode out of like who could the killer be when we fucking know? So they do this whole like mystery like thing for an entire fucking episode. Um, and then the killer goes, "It was me, the doppelganger, all along. We're going to fight now." And then they fight, and then nothing happens from that. Like,
Wait, can
Let
I
me
just talk also? All of the messaging, like, you know how the initial messaging was, are we free or are we not free? Androids, robots, all that stuff, right? In the middle of this, that, like, the direction of the messaging got kind of tossed out the window. Like, there's still these, like, vague themes of, like, are we free? Robots versus not robots, stuff like that. But where it's, like, supposed to be pointing at, the resolution of the theme and the questions are just, like, nowhere to be seen. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Yeah, no, I mean,
no.
it was a lot. It is a lot clear during the moments when it was like shitty Detroit become human in the camp. But
Near, let me
after
ask:
that, yeah,
are the androids colored differently?
Yes.
How? Oh, what color are these androids?
So there's a red one. There was a purple one. There's a black one, and he's like maybe he's a good guy, maybe he's a bad guy. I don't know.
How on the nose are we
There's an orange
about
one.
race color in here?
Not at all.
How
Not
many
at
green ones are there?
all.
wait, are you talking about? Wait, but Toast, are you
mech.
specifically talking about like the mech suit ones?
No.
Or are
Oh,
you
the
talking about like
androids?
the neons in
Yes.
general?
How on the ball are we about this racial
Um,
allegory?
Not very.
Oh,
They're like varying colors. Some of them are like gray. Some of them have like weird like greenish skin, but most of them are pretty like human looking. They have like these weird red like face paint markings on them though, so they're pretty like they're pretty easy to like distinguish from a normal person. Yeah. But yeah, like they do this dumb fucking mystery episode that's like completely inconsequential, and then immediately after that, so like just by the way, I'm going into like spoilers here, not that it really fucking matters because this show is just like straight dog shit. But immediately after that like cruise ship episode where like keep in mind during this entire like episode in the cruise ship, like Rouge and Naomi are like buddy buddy, right? Like they're like, yeah, we're like friends or whatever. And immediately after that, Naomi's like, I'm evil, by the way. I'm evil. I'm like a
What the
I'm like
fuck?
a fucked up. I'm like a fucked up evil like space cop organization member, and you're under arrest, Rouge. And then they do like fucking multiple episodes where it's like, yeah, I'm this character and I work for this organization and I'm a member of this council. And
But,
then
like,
there's another character that's like, oh yeah, well, I'm a member of this organization and I'm on this
Yeah,
council.
well,
And I
for
say
context,
you're not
for
allowed to do
context,
that.
For context,
Is that like the Bleach, like-
I'm from the Ministry of Truth, or like what will the Ministry of Truth think of this? And like you're like, okay, I get what a Ministry of Truth is, and then it goes into like, but what about the Ministry of like Divergence?
Yeah.
What will
I
they
thought you were
think
going-
about it?
I thought you were gonna say that the Minister of Diversity or some shit. Like, bro, wait. Is
No,
this
see, like
Bleach
that we would
Captain?
still that we would still understand.
Is this like Bleach Captains, like the divisions and shit like that? What's going on?
No, it's even more convoluted than that. I can tell you that
What-
because
so
they
what-
literally
what-
mention it in passing and then they don't go in depth at all. Like there's literally no explanation. So
Is this like? So is the relationship between Naomi and Rouge, the way it's written? Is it implied that the trajectories of their development is it supposed to be like a standard Yuri kind of like, oh,
No.
I am supposed to be this evil cop, but actually, no, it's not. What is it? I don't understand what the trajectory.
I mean,
where
there
this
is
like-
no structure. There is no structures. So a lot of stuff. So again, when I say disjointed, like I mean it. Like there is literally nothing in this show that connects to another thing in this show. So the way characters act in one scene is not indicative of the way characters will be acting in another scene. Like that is how schizophrenic and like nonsensical this show is. So when you have Rouge and Naomi that are like buddy buddy and they're sort of like bantering together in one episode, and then the next episode, like fucking Naomi is like, you're just a tool for the government. And then 2 minutes later, Naomi's like, oh, but I can't abandon her. It's like,
Oh, so the trajectory is kind of like it's like
yeah,
like,
but
it's like-
you think that, but then immediately after going like, oh, I can't abandon her, they go back to being buddy buddy, and then it's like, Naomi's like, you're under arrest. I'm betraying you now.
actually fuck
Yeah,
you.
yeah, like that's what I was gonna say. Like you're like Spyro, you're overthinking this. Like imagine if this was like two different characters entirely.
Yeah, like, it's so stupid.
But the thing is, they're ultimately at the end of the episode, the two are just gonna fucking do makeout sex, right? Is that
No.
is that how it's gonna go?
No. So
No?
there has been no like not even remotely an inclination of any sort of Yuri anything. Like at the end of the last episode that I could fucking stomach, which was like 9, I think. Naomi's like, yeah, you should trust me. You should just trust me. And Rouge is
but
like,
actually, fuck you.
and Rouge is like, why the fuck would I do that? Like, you literally betrayed me. And Naomi's like, you should you should just trust me. You should just trust me and do this. And Rouge is like, okay, I'm gonna do that. And it's
Nice.
just like,
That's called in the industry. That's called the guilty crown
it's just
maneuver.
like, what the fuck are these characters doing? It's so fucking unreal. It's like, and by the way, throughout all of this, like Rouge is having like these weird, like fucked up memory like issues, and like she has like this a brother, but maybe it's not her brother, and like maybe
It's
this
like
maybe her brother is just like using her, and like it's like she's literally going through this arc of like she literally has no
Schizo.
idea who to trust, right? Like she has fucking no idea who she is. She has no idea who to trust. And Naomi's just like, yeah, you should trust me and do this thing that could probably get you
What
killed
is
right now.
happening, bro?
And Rouge is like, yeah, I'm down for that. It's
This
just
is this is like the worst episode of AI no Tenshi. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like
but yeah, like this is literally like everything that could have possibly gone wrong that I called in the previews went wrong. Like just straight up. The show has like no coherent plot. The characters
or direction for
are
its themes. The theme's
yeah, like
direction is wrong. Like or
yeah.
not even wrong. It's just non-existent.
Oh, and by the way, here's the funniest part. So I like actually laughed at this. So in episode like 7 or 8, I think,
Yes.
one of the characters from the earlier episodes is revealed to be one of these like Immortal Nine or whatever. Which by the way, the whole Immortal 9 subplot is completely dropped. Like it's not even relevant that they're like hunting them down anymore.
Yeah, it's also
because
not
it's like
apparent as to why.
yeah,
for a
it's
very
not
long
even
time.
apparent who they are. Like
Yeah,
it's
like
never even
why they're
explained
called
who
the
the
Immortal
Immortal Nine
Nine,
are
what
and
their like
what
ID
like
cores are, or what they
yeah,
do.
like literally nothing in this show is
You know,
explained at all. It's
for
all
for a group
presented at
called
like
the Immortal Nine, they tend to die very
yeah, they die a lot. They die
easily.
pretty easily.
You know what this reminds me of? I think, well, not reminds me, but I think this
By the way, this show
is
has
what
aliens too. Just
Oh yeah,
just gonna
there's
put
an
it out there.
alien race. Yeah, there was an alien war.
This
There's a
is
war
what
with
I sort of
aliens.
expected. This is about the level of coherence of story I expected Bang Brave Braver to be.
Oh wait,
Or
you
Bang
also
Braver to be.
Near, you also forgot about the neon drugs, the amber. How could
I
you
mean, I
forget?
mentioned that. I mentioned that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But they again, like they literally
that just
dropped
goes
that.
away.
They dropped that episode 1. Like after episode
Yeah.
1, that's dropped
After
completely.
episode 1, that's gone.
But yeah, so one of the characters from earlier on is revealed to be one of the members of this Immortal Nine, and she helps Rouge escape from this facility, right? And she's like, Rouge, you should come work for me because I'm fighting for neon freedom. And Rouge is like, I don't really know if I want to do that. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
she's going through this phase of like she doesn't really know who she is. She doesn't really know what she wants to fight for. And like immediately after this like speech of like, yeah, like I'm fighting for like neon freedom. This character goes, "Oh, so you won't serve me? Then die." It's like, what the
Okay.
fuck are you talking about? Is this person a freedom fighter or not? Like, it's so retarded. Like, none of these characters have any fucking just like motivation at all. It's fucking unreal. It's like, I get that you want conflict with this character, but you can't really present somebody to be like, yeah, I'm the head of the freedom fighter force. Also, you need to serve under me or die. It's like, what?
Again, this sounds like a lot like the beginning episodes of Guilty Crown, where a lot of it was railroaded, where it's like the guy gets the girl like stolen away, or he gets fucked up, and then he was just like, by the way, dude, you need to just come with me to be one of the freedom fighters, and the main guy, she was like, okay, you fucked me over like 1 or 2 episodes ago, but okay, sure.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
what, bro? Like, no, that's not how that's supposed to work, man.
But yeah, this show just really so they like the general vibe I got from this show is basically like it was written with the expectation that the viewer has like a fucking Bible of lore on their lap at all times.
or they'll hand wave everything.
I mean, they can't hand wave everything because they're literally like they're dropping shit that's just like what? Like again, they just drop like, yeah, by the way, there was like a war a really long time ago with this like alien race, and Mars was like the last line of defense for humanity, and we beat them back, but there's still aliens out there, and it's like, huh? What do you mean? What do you mean by that? Like, what do you mean there's still aliens out there? Like, what?
What I don't.
Yeah, it's like you
what is
introduce aliens.
kind-
It's like, well, what do they do? What do they look like? What are their motivations? Like, what the fuck? Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. Well, what's kind of like upsetting to me is that obviously they're trying to go a little bit beyond the rule of cool, right? Again, this is a little bit different from something like Bang Brave Burn, where Bang Brave Burn was pretty much, again, because it's a CG proof of concept, it was initially set up upon the rule of cool, and then it went above and beyond, right? By providing proper character backgrounds and
Well,
whatever, stuff like that. But this wanted to go above and beyond by doing the whole like Detroit Become Human and all that crap with the whole
I
like
mean,
robot freedom.
I
Android
think you
freedom.
don't even need to look beyond this director's work. You can just look at Carol and Tuesday and be like, yeah, that was an isolated story in like a really odd, like cyberpunky, like weird, like future, like setting. And there was a lot of visuals introduced. But what you didn't get was a bunch of random fucking piecemeal lore dumps. They were just like, yeah, this is
Yeah,
like
nobody
the visuals.
like there was
deal with
no
it.
character in Carol and Tuesday that came in and was like, "Hey, it's me, Joe Black's the alien, and I'm on the council. I'm on the council of
of music.
Gorblanks, and
Yeah.
I'm here to say your music's pretty cool, and I'm
Yeah.
not gonna show up again.
Yeah,
Just gonna drop. I'm just gonna drop that aliens exist and that the Council of Gorblax is real. See you later. It's like,
I'm from the
huh?
CIF music. It's like, oh,
Like
okay.
like why? Like why did you even introduce this into the story? It doesn't do anything. It just adds more convoluted bullshit, and you're not even like following up on it. So
Yeah.
like, what's the point?
And I think it's like even the lore aside, I still don't get what this story is about and where it's supposed to be going. Because
Well,
I don't
yeah,
even know
and
what it's.
I mean,
I
well,
don't
I
even
think
know what it's
that's
trying to do.
yeah.
Yeah, what
'Cause
I was
you
gonna say
can
is
have
I think that
yeah.
highlights like the problem with like the lore thing because like introducing and at the time with the alien thing, you're like, okay, so this is gonna come into play later. And the problem
Mhm.
is that does not happen. And none of that happens. So you're just like, oh, okay, what? Like, but so then who cares? Like that I feel like is the main problem. It's not so much that like, they go, "Oh, aliens are real." It's like aliens are real. And that's
Anyways.
Yep. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah.
Mm.
Also, that's
I
not
just
true, dude. Aliens are real, and that's why Rouge has to fight this mech. That's
Yeah,
what it
but that's
amounted to.
only in that one
That's
episode.
what all of
yeah,
this.
like
Yes, that's what all of this shit amounts to. It's like here's
It's
all
like-
this bullshit happening. Here's all this bullshit that we're introducing into this world, and now Rouge has to fight a mech. That's literally
yeah,
it.
it's
Like that's the entire. That's every episode. And that's
that's
why every episode is so fucking disjointed because none of them have anything to do with each other. And it's like, here's all this bullshit happening, and because all this bullshit happened, Rouge has to fight a mech. And it's like,
you know what this is. You know what this is. The director and the story writer saw Cyberpunk, the Cyberpunk anime, and they only they looked at the ending and they're like, no, all of our episodes need to be like this, where they fight Adam Smasher. every single one of our episodes needs to be Rouge
Yeah,
fighting the
it's
back.
just like
I mean, because like what's
if
weird
they.
is like
But
my
the thing
anticipation
is,
with like episode 1 was like, oh, this is just gonna be a standard like buddy cop like a
yeah,
tokusatsu
if they
series.
wanted that, if they wanted every episode to just be Rouge fights a mech, they could have gone with the initial premise of Rouge is fighting the Immortal 9. That was the initial setup. And it was like after episode 1, that was over. They gave up on that.
Yeah,
So
it's like
if you wanted Rouge to fight a cool robot every fucking episode, why not just have it be the Immortal 9? And every couple episodes, she fights one of the Immortal 9. And it goes through that, and maybe here's a crazy idea. Halfway through the series, you make a twist, and maybe the Immortal 9 aren't quite as bad as they originally were set out to be. And it's like,
yeah, but
wow,
you have to remember we already killed 2 of the Immortal 9 in before episode 1. So
yeah,
we're running
yeah,
down.
it does that too, by the way, where it's like
The Immortal 9,
this in
2
the
of which
start
are
of
already
this
dead.
show, Rouge has already killed like 3 fucking people. And it's like they just drop that like in an offhanded like comment, and then later on they try to like guilt trip Rouge and you'd be like, you killed all these people, and it's like we didn't see that. So why this doesn't work? Like this doesn't work at
Yeah,
all
they're like you killed.
because they're like
It's
showing
really fucked up how you killed Johnny the
yeah,
Slasher.
they're showing
the
like
Immortal 9.
ghosts. Yeah, they're showing like ghosts of these characters and like Rouge, you killed me, and it's like I don't know who this character is. I've literally never seen this character. So
And
yeah,
again, I, I think even like the precise explanation of the lore and the world building and the characters takes a backseat to like, where do you want to take this? Where so you have these drones, or not drones, the fucking the freedom fighters and shit coming out. Like, so are these the good guys? Are these like
no,
the
they
bad
are
guys?
markedly
Like,
evil because they're
okay.
No,
literally
well,
like
actually, here's the problem: is that there is a peaceful robot faction that's like, man, I really wish we were free and shit. And then there's the extremists. Now, what happens with the peaceful ones after one episode? Nothing. They're gone. Actually, their leader's
well,
dead.
actually
Who cares?
they all get shot. They all get killed.
Yeah,
So
and then
you know
and then the police come and
that
shoot
just
most of them.
I guess that's the series saying, hey man, if you want freedom, don't be peaceful. I guess because you'll just get shot.
Yeah, it's kind of like what part of this discussion reminds me of is the discussion we had for uh FLCL shoegaze, right?
Yeah,
Where
where its message was basically like, hey, if you're having like if you're like stuck and you're having a bad time, you should give up.
yeah, it's I think what's happening is that these story writers think they're being cool with the coherent message that they vaguely got from, again, like Detroit or from Cyberpunk, but their writing just is not good enough to support a unique variant of that. As so somewhere along the way, it's just everything gets lost. There's no
Yeah,
coherence.
and that's somewhere being episode 1.
Episode yeah, exactly, and it's so like stupid because if you want to have a deep complex story, or like a story with themes that are
Coherent.
important, controversial, whatever, right? You have to be prepared to write in an appropriate manner for it. And if you're not willing to do that, and you're just like, oh, fucking Shinji, you gotta kill the fucking mech or whatever, right? It's like just completely not coherent, like nonsense. Then you gotta be prepared to get fucked up. You know what I mean? In the reviews, and it's just I don't know, man. Like, even if it was, again, I 100% agree with Dark in that if this series was just a ghetto Detroit human, it would not be getting so much shit, right? It would be kind of like, yeah, He kind of just did.
Well, I mean, it had to be either
Just
or. It
kinda-
could have been Ghetto, Detroit Become Human, or it could have just been a fucking Toku Buddy Cop series, or it was like,
Yeah,
we gotta fight the
Yeah,
Immortal
but
Nine.
the problem is it
with a little
presented
Witch and Mercury
itself.
kind of shit
It
sprinkled in.
presented
Yeah.
itself in the promotional material as a Tokusatsu Buddy Cop series, and then in episode 1, it set itself up as a Ghetto Detroit Become Human, and then in
Yeah.
episode 2, it abandoned all of that and became I don't even know what the fuck. Like I
Yeah.
don't think the director knows what the fuck, and I don't think the writer knows what the fuck. And I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure the animators are just getting the storyboards and be like, "Yep, okay, sure." So yeah, I
You
think
know what would have been cool if it was um like if they kind of did a semi like Yuri buddy cop kind of thing, but it was more of a like the Yuri amount. It is like whatever. It could have been minimal. It doesn't really matter. But like if they had included more like Izetta the Last Witch like battle scenes and shit like that, and just kind of focus on that again, like make it more like a proof of concept. Like Bones can just do like just battle scenes, like animation scenes focused anime. That would have been pretty cool. Even if like all of the other like themes and crap like that were incoherent, that would have been pretty nice because then it would just been like everybody blasting, just running around doing whatever. But it's not even that, so it's kind of confusing on why you should be watching this series. You know what I mean? Like, so
yeah. Lastly, I guess I'll touch on the audio visuals. Again, this is a Bone series. I will say for a Bone series, I'm a little disappointed. The audio visuals aren't bad by any means, right? They're pretty good. The action is impressively like 90% like hand drawn. Like there's very minimal
okay.
CG in this, which is surprising because these are like, you know, Kamen Rider-esque like mech suits fighting each other at high speed.
I
Very
think
often that those are like CG, but
I think
Bones
the
put in the work
production
and
committee was prepared for this to blow up, but they
yeah,
didn't
for sure.
expect this to be like this.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
They didn't
I will
realize
say,
that you know, the OP isn't the entire show.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I will say I think the action is not very well choreographed. I don't know. I don't know if
it's like there's a
I don't know
lot
if
of
it's the
finishing
story.
moves out of nowhere.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the fault of the storyboarding or the directing or the like chief animation or what, but it kind of just feels like a lot of like cool things happening and none of them really connect in sort of like a actual like flowing like fight. It's kind of just like I'm doing this cool special move now, and now I'm doing this cool special move, and now I'm gonna do this cool special move, and now you're dead. It's like okay, but none of that really flowed at all.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
it's most apparent when Rouge is fighting the alien like mech robot things where it's kind of just like a lot of explosions happening and like Rouge is doing like these dive kicks and stuff and it's like things are blowing up and she's throwing them around but you don't really have any sense of like where any of this is. Like one shot is at like the side of a cliff, like they're running along the side of a cliff, and the next is in like the middle of an open desert, and it's like what? I don't know. Yeah, it's very very poorly choreographed in my opinion. But like the shots
What
themselves
about
are really well put together.
well, whose fight was it? It was the guy that made the smoke screen or whatever, the like neurotoxin guy.
Oh, the nerve
I think
gas,
that was
dude.
like the best fucking example of like.
I mean,
she fights a nerve gas guy, and you're like, "Damn, how's she gonna get out of this one?" And he's dead. Okay, never
yeah,
mind.
he
She
just
stabbed him through the
dies.
chest.
Yeah, she's just like. I mean, the thing is, like, she literally. So in that fight, like he beats her, right? Like he's
Yeah.
literally about to cut off her fucking head, and then she's just like, no. And then there's a random explosion, and then suddenly she stabbed him in the chest, and it's like, okay, so you guys just like kind of didn't know
Kinda
how
gave
to
up
like
on that
actually.
one.
Yeah, you guys didn't have any idea how to like actually
Yeah,
properly ass pull her
they
out of
got
this,
through
and
the
you
animation
just
and they were
said
like, "Wait a minute."
you were just like
There
Rouge
is no
wins
way
because
this-
she does. It's like okay, cool.
They were like, "Listen, we already made these keyframes and we're not fucking
Yeah,
throwing
it's
them
like
out."
like we're not gonna fucking redo this. But yeah, the action is like it's a lot of really nice looking shots that are kind of presented to you, and if you don't think very hard, it's like wow, cool. But if you like kind of have more than like 5 IQ, it's like wait a minute, these don't really like these shots are not indicative of like what's actually supposed to be happening, right? Kind of just doesn't make sense.
Oh, and
Yeah, other
also,
than
who
that,
could forget the 30-second fight during the Clue episode where then
yeah.
the doppelganger just loses and goes, "All right, I guess I lost."
All right, I guess I'm gonna drop from orbit onto Earth and be fine. I'm gonna live that. I'm just gonna survive that. But yeah. The OP ED the OP is nice. But I think I think the OP pisses me off because the OP is very obviously representative of um what the promotional material like presented this series as sort of like a
Yep.
buddy cop kind of lighthearted thing. Because the song that plays during that is very reminiscent of like a 90s kind of series, right? It's a nice song. I like it a lot. It's like, this OP is not representative of what the show is at all. The ED as well is kind of cute, I guess. There's some nice visuals to it. I feel like the song is kind of boring though. But yeah,
I would
overall,
say the full song of that is pretty nice.
oh, is
I
it?
don't think the
haven't
cut of
listened.
it was quite great.
Yeah, I haven't listened to the full, but yeah, I'd say overall, this package is bad. Just genuinely.
No bueno,
I
yeah.
think there's really no redeeming qualities of this at all. Because like I said, you can't even watch this for the action because the action is incoherent as well.
Yeah.
So really, the only thing this series has going for it is the aesthetic, and you know,
Then you could just copy and paste the poster art somewhere. Yeah, you just
yeah,
buy
like
the
Yeah, I
merchandise.
mean, you
if
could just
if
you could just watch
if you
the
really
OP
want,
buy the
and then
merchandise.
call
yeah,
it a day.
you could just like look at the key visual, go, wow, that's cool. I sure wish they made an anime.
Buy a
of that.
keychain.
And
Yeah, buy a keychain.
yeah, like maybe download a fucking wallpaper or something, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
that's it. That's like as far as the value of this series goes, in my opinion. I think this is a actual fucking train wreck. I don't know.
And it's really unfortunate too, because it had the potential to be one of the best series of the
Yeah,
season.
for sure.
But
I mean, it's Studio Bones,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's got the money. It's got the animation talent to make it a fucking viral hit, especially in the West, right? Because us Westoids love our Sakug.
Yes.
But the writing talent's just not there in my opinion, or whoever is in charge of the writing team is just like a fucking headless chicken that has no idea what he's doing. The directing is all over the place. The pacing is all over the place. The characters are all over the place. Like it is just like, yeah, it's a complete fucking train wreck. Final rating, I honestly probably give this a 1. I generally don't think there's anything worthwhile in this series at all. Yeah, not good.
What rating would you? What Mal rating would you give it? I noticed that
you gave
Metallic
it.
Rouge
You
had.
give it a 1.
Yeah, 1.
Oh, sorry, a 1. Yeah. Yeah. It's honestly, I think for the most part, the community kind of agrees with you, where it's just like,
Yeah.
like,
I think if
what is Post doing?
you look at the Mal reviews, a lot of them are pretty much in agreement to where like
Confusion.
it's largely confusion. It's a lot of people being like, going from episode to episode, being like, did I miss something? It's like, no, you didn't. The writers might have, but you
The
didn't.
carnival one was
Yeah.
the worst. Like that shit. Like I literally like had to triple check to make sure I didn't.
Yeah,
skip an
I
episode.
watched that episode twice just to be like, am I retarded? Like, am I fucking speed reading this or something. Like I generally don't understand what the purpose of the carnival episode even was, especially because that character hasn't even come back yet. Like, so anyway. But yeah, I feel like all of the positive reviews I've seen is just like it's pretty much just like, yeah, I think this show looks cool, and I like Studio Bones. It's like,
Yeah, I
okay,
think that's the
that's
I think
not.
that's the only like
Yeah,
because it's like watching an anime. I don't know. It's like we all had that phase, right, as anime otaku, but especially these days, I think it's hard to
No, like with this
justify.
series, dude, this is like next level. Like you gotta be
Yeah,
a
yeah. I
different
genuinely
beast.
think
Like
I think you should watch the first 4 episodes of this Spire. Like genuinely, just to witness firsthand how genuinely incoherent this is, because it
if
is,
you're feeling
in
real
my
fucked up,
opinion.
skim to like 8, and you're gonna be
Oh,
like,
fuck.
what happened?
Yeah, I mean, just the like,
what
I feel like
even-
the genuine like fucking insane like drop, like, because I feel like the first 4 episodes are like, okay, this is like not good, but like it could go somewhere, and then
yeah, you're like, this
as
could
it
continue.
as it goes from like 5 to 8, it's just like it's such a fucking downfall. Like it's such an insane downward spiral of just like, this is fucking like dog shit. It's honestly a marvel to behold. Like I don't know how a team of people worked on this. Like genuinely. Um yeah.
it's very sad because it's like, again, it had. I don't know about potential coming right out of the gate, but the trailer looked promising. I think we can give it that much. So
I
it
mean,
was
I,
very
I
Yeah.
disappointing
think
that.
I think it had huge potential for virality at the very
Yes.
least, right? It may not have been
Yes.
like anime of the season or anime of the year,
Yeah.
but like just the just the sheer like throwing these concepts onto a board of girl that turns into a cool mech, you have a cute dark skinned girl, and you have a cyberpunk aesthetic. It's like bam, you have those 3 things and you have a viral series on your hands.
Yeah.
But they dropped the ball so fucking hard
I
that it's
mean,
like
I
I'm honestly
am
shocked that
impressed that
like nobody's talking about this series like on like
Whoa, that's the thing. What do you? Because it's like, in a sense, I'm I'm not surprised because it's like this is how anime otaku kind of hide their disappointment and shame. And
I mean,
sometimes where
yeah,
it's
but
like, yeah.
I don't know, man, cuz like this had a quite a lot of buzz coming into this season, right?
Yeah, because
Um
nerds thought it would be great, and then they were like, "Wait, it's not great. Fuck, my edgy series that I need to be edgy isn't very good. Oh shit, let's not talk about it." It's kind of
yeah,
because
I don't
if it
know.
was like even mildly okay, like even if it was like mildly coherent, not even good, just coherent, it would have blown up. It's like how Cyberpunk anime blew up. You know what I mean? But it
Yeah.
didn't. So it's like, oh, okay. Shh, I was wrong. Shh,
yeah, I
let's
mean,
kick the
it's
flag
hard
kind of
to
thing.
do that when you're pulling like a Cyberpunk episode 7 on episode 2 and
Yeah,
then episode
exactly.
3.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, very unfortunate. I guess any last words on the series?
I think I've said all I can say about this show.
Yeah, again, very very disappointing. Yeah, this is Metallic Rouge again by Studio Bones. Unfortunately, it flopped. I'm sure a lot of money went into this, so
More than likely.
again, unfortunate. But we'll see how the next anime original. It might be quite a bit down the road after this,
I would
due to how
be
this one turned out.
I would kill to be like a fly on the wall to know
Uh,
what the fuck happened.
Production
Like
committee.
what this
I want
process
to.
was.
Yeah, because like there has to be somebody from Bones, either one of the writers or whoever, that sold this idea to the general like representatives.
Yeah,
For
and
the
then it's like,
production
and then
committee,
what
right?
happened?
Yeah,
Because
I
again,
want
it's
to
like
be
Carol and
there.
Tuesday. Because like I said, like it's the Carol and Tuesday director, and Carol and Tuesday very clearly knew its place, like knew what to fucking like talk about and what
Yeah,
not to talk about. especially when introducing like an aesthetic like this to be like, yeah, guess what? This funny like robot thing is here. Why? Because it's the future. Shut the fuck up. Like we're focusing on the music now, idiot.
Yeah, very unfortunate.
But yeah, I would contradict Nier. I would recommend people do check this out to experience this level of shell shock.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very unfortunate. But anyways, again, thank you, Nier, for taking this unexpected bullet. I think for us all,
to be fair, I kind of called it.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. It was unfortunate again. One of those things where we were definitely like, oh, there's so much potential, and then it kind of flopped. But we can't. It can't all be successes. So again, very unfortunate. But that was Metallic Rouge, Bones original. And to round it up, I'll be going next, and I'll be covering one of the other hyped up series of the season, and arguably
the good
this
one.
is a good cop version, but this is probably the most hyped non-sequel series of the season. I think bar
Solo
none,
leveling.
right?
Hello.
Solo leveling. Fuck you. But this is Delicious in Dungeon Meshi. This is done by Trigger, and obviously, it started out as a cult favorite. It kind of blew up as a manga. It got the anime again. It was by Trigger, and everybody was just like everything's kind of coming together. And now it came out again. It's I believe 24 episodes have been released or have been announced total.
Yeah.
Netflix. It was under Netflix, and 12 have come out currently. And yeah, this is again a manga original, or written I guess, and drawn by the Ryoiki, I believe. Ryoko, sorry. Ryoko Kui, who did stuff like Ryu no Gakko wa Yama no Ue. So the Dragon Academy is on the top of the mountain. Seven Little Sons of the Dragon, and Terrarium and Drawer. So this other final one, the Dungeon Meshi one, is the one that really kind of popped off. This
Sorry,
did end
Spire. I don't know what Dungeon Meshi is. Don't you mean Delicious in Dungeon?
Yeah, Delicious in Dungeon.
Just so it matches the D and D. Get it?
Yeah. It did this manga original did end in September of last year. So if you guys want to check that out again, you guys can buy the raw volumes or whatever online or wherever. A lot of money and a lot of subcontractors went into this. The staff role, if you go on to Anime News Network,
it's fucking huge.
The staff role for this is some of the largest that I've seen for any like standard kind of anime. So obviously, again, with continually ongoing series like Naruto or Bleach or something like Gintama or Pokemon and stuff like that, obviously there are huge lists, right? Because there are like 5 different major studios working on it at any time, and everybody's kind of chipping in, right? That's one thing. This is like comparable staff role, and that is very, 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 very rare for um like a 24 episode series. Even something like Chainsaw Man, I don't think had something like this, like a staff role like this. Like, yeah, it's a huge freaking list if you go down. There are so many 2D like animators that are listed here that are coming in, or like key animators and like in between animators that are coming in from a billion different subcontractors. It's amazing. But yeah, it is mainly um being led by what is it? Sorry, Trigger Animation. I believe a lot of the 2D in between key animation stuff like that is being helped by obviously a bunch of the people from the other subcontractors, but mostly people from Inspired, I believe. A lot of the color editing kind of stuff is being done by Wit Studio, and a lot of the special effects animation and stuff like that is being done by Graphitica. So a mixture of studios. A lot of these, you should know which studio you should know. Graphinica, Common, 2D, so in between animators, second key animation, stuff like that, studio, so on.
It's funny.
Yeah.
I think Wit doing the coloring is like it gives this show, I think, because you know how Trigger has like a very um distinct style, right?
Yes,
Um,
yes.
But I feel like this show kind of dodges that just by the nature
It kind of
of
reminds me of Osama ranking.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
It does
The way
have
it's
a more like storybook kind of vibe to it.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's very
So,
nice.
which is definitely nice. Yeah. So, the main core team of like the lead directors and the lead animators is mainly Miyajima Yoshihiro as the director, who did um, a lot of like storyboard and episode direction under Trigger and some other studios. But he's his most famous main like directorial role is being the director of the Dynazenon movie. So under Trigger as well, and helping out a little bit with a lot of like the episode direction, I believe, for Little Witch Academia, again, also under Trigger. And I believe what Miyajima ended up doing was he brought in a lot of the Little Witch Academia crew and some of like the Gridman like universe crew that was underneath Trigger.
Yeah.
Again, because a lot of the there was a lot of draw from subcontractors and a lot of draw from like kind of um these like smaller crews like the Little Witch Academia crew and some of the Gridman stuff. A lot of these names are relatively newer uh faces in the industry or people that have not had as much experience. Um so obviously they've worked a lot. Most of these people have worked on like at least like 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 series, but they're not as like prolific as like the a lot of like the big like names in the industry. So it's a very interesting combination. Again, the core is still the Little Witch Academia kind of people, especially people like Ueno Kimiko, I believe, Little Witch Academia, who did help with the script and series composition. Some of like the music and stuff, like the unit director like Shimahiro Yuichi, I believe, also worked on it. And also of note is the music, like the OST, the BGM, stuff like that, is actually done by Mitsuda Yasunori Mitsuda, who, if you guys don't know, was sort of the original OST creator of stuff like the Chrono series, Chrono Trigger, stuff like that. The Xenogear, like the original like Xenogear stuff, Shadow Hearts. I believe he also did like the Inazuma 11 OSTs. So he's a
Never heard of
good.
any of those.
Yeah, none of these games strike a chord with me. Sorry, I don't JRPG. But yeah, if you don't know this guy, you should. He is a very prolific and very famous uh kind of composer. He introduced like doing like ballads and stuff like that into a lot of these OSTs. He's a very, 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 very good and again like a prolific composer. So pretty solid staff overall. Again, kind of just bringing in that core Trigger team in. Uh, of interest also is the voice acting cast. I would say it is very interesting because the supporting cast has a couple of pretty, interesting names: Tomita Miu, Takahashi Rie, Hayami Saori, Hirose Yuya, stuff like that. But out of the four main characters, so the four main characters that make up the main cast, Shochuk, Senshi, Laios, Marcel, only really Senboki Sayaka would be what I would consider to be a modern, current, like a A-lister or near A-lister, right?
Sorry,
So
Spire. I don't know any of those names. I only know the English voice actors.
yeah, I
Now
apologize.
list off the English voice actors. They're pretty well known.
I forget what was the. Let me actually have it. Actually, never mind. I might have the names here. Do I have the English voice actor?
Should.
Yes, I should. Yes. So the English voice actor, yeah, it's like it's like Emily Rudd, Song Won Cho, Damien Haas, and Casey Mongilo, right?
You know who Emily Rudd is?
I feel like I do. I think I've seen her name before. Oh, okay. So it is Nami in One Piece. Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Who's
So
Sung Won though? He sounds familiar.
yeah. So a couple of famous names in the English dub, but I think it is interesting that by contrast, the Japanese names are not as famous. So Tomari Asuna as Chilchuk, the sort of Shota kind of thief. She has done like a lot of supporting Shota tomboyish voices, sometimes leaning into like a sort of a rough and tumble Onesan roles, but she's never had like a really big like main cast role until now. Nakahiroshi as Senshi, the dwarf, the cooking dwarf. Again, he has had a lot of supporting old character roles, like GG roles, but his sort of most famous role, if you can even call it that, is like Aramaki Daisuke and some of the Ghost in the Shell OVAs. Kumagai Kentaro as Laios, the sort of main like knight character. He did Theo and Grand Senki, and he did Handawi in God High School. But again, out of the four, I would say probably Senbongi Sayaka as Marcille, the female elf like wizard, is probably the most famous of the four. And even
Yeah.
she, I would say, is probably not right now like a really obvious full A-lister like a Yuki Aoi or a
Yeah, I mean,
Takashi Rie or like
she's not like making huge
yeah.
waves. I mean,
Obviously, she's done very famous roles like Haru in Beastars.
Yeah.
She did the main character in Girlish Number. She did her breakout role was the Chronicles of the Going Home Club, one of the characters in there. She did Watanabe Sarasa in Kageki Shoujo. She did Anchor in Clockwork Planet. So she has these roles. Again, most notably, I would probably say recent one is Haru in Beastars, right?
Yeah, but
But
she's not
it's
getting like
like
huge roles like back to back to
yeah,
back.
she's not like an Ueda Reina. She's not like Uesaka Sumire, and this is not like a negative like light on her. It's just saying like the amount of role that she's getting recently, right? So it is very interesting that they brought in this cast, and what is notable is they do fit. Like Kumagai, Senshi obviously, and Tomade, they do their roles very properly. And I would say Kumagai's voice, being very like standard kind of male protagonist, stable voice in Laios, does help with the flow. But I think Sembongi really, really helps carry the more comedic kind of dialogue that Marcille requires, because Marcille sometimes in anime series, in anime direction, voice, sound direction, there are one or two characters that really need to nail it, right? And sometimes that voice is obvious, right? It's like in Medaka Box, what is the voice that's most important? It's Medaka, right? And sometimes for instance, in this season, Wrong Way to Use Healing Magic, the most important voice I would say is Rose, right? The teacher, the kind of like rough and tumble teacher that needs to do everything. And in this one, it is absolutely, I think, Marcille, right? Because she needs to do that like curious voice, the female voice, and then she needs to do kind of like the tsukomi, like, oh, I'm not gonna eat that monster. No,
Yeah, I
fuck you,
mean,
kind
I
of
feel
thing.
like Marcille in Dungeon Meshi is kind of like the backbone
The
of
heart,
almost
yeah.
all of the comedy, right? Like
Yeah.
she is kind of like um the butt of the
She
joke for
she's the
Yeah.
pretty
she's
much.
the Sukomi of everything.
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
pretty much
exactly.
like
The
I
straight
don't
man.
really want to I don't really want to say like the heart of the party, because like
Mm.
pretty much all of them like bounce off each
The
other very well.
the spirit of Dungeon Meshi, I think,
Yeah,
is yeah.
because I feel like if you don't
The
have,
spirit of Dungeon Meshi is Laios. Spy, what are you talking about?
I
He's
don't
the
know.
one who's meshing that dungeon.
I mean, yeah, but I feel like if you don't have Marcille to like,
She's
to like
definitely the straight man. Yeah.
yeah, to like
Yeah.
create like comedy out of the stuff that Laios is making, like you don't
Yeah.
have Dungeon Meshi. You know what I mean? Like it,
And
because
her
otherwise,
evolution is also kind of like
yeah,
the core of Dungeon Meshi. Yeah.
Because without Marcille, it's kind of just like it's just a cooking anime. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just cooking trivia. Exactly. It's like, yeah, I 100% agree. So it's like she's so important. And I think again, Saka Senbongi as well as I think Emily. I've heard like a few clips of her doing Marcia. I think she
Yeah, she
does
does a good
well too.
job.
Yeah, and and also shout out to the German dub of Marcia
Yeah.
that went viral recently,
Yeah.
done by Magdalena Hoffner. She does a very good job again, like in the initial where it's like, eat this. It's like yada yada yada, and it's like
Yeah.
and the German dub is like nine nine nine
Nine,
nine
nine,
nine
nine,
nine nine.
nine.
Yeah, and it's again, I think they did a very good job in selecting auditioning and selecting these voices, and really goes to show you the power of how choosing the right voices, having the voice actresses slash actors doing these right voices at the right time can really liven up an anime proper. So, great job for all the language voice dubs for sure. So, going quickly over opening ED, I would say the opening theme is Sleepwalking Orchestra by Bump of Chicken. The instrumentation was quite nice. I wasn't particularly impressed by
hot
the
take.
overall composition.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
I'm not
not.
crazy over this OP.
yeah.
I mean, it's a
So
it's a
you're saying
it's a bump of chicken OP.
Yeah,
you're
but see,
saying
like
It's
the
a
it's
very
not
problem
standard
is
theme.
that I hate that this song in particular is like, hey guys, this is a Bump of Chicken song. Okay, now you're just gonna get sacked by like a fucking like bard really quick, and he's just gonna go ham. Like
Yeah.
So you're
that one,
saying
like
it's
those
not
like
as good?
that first tune that like it begins and ends on. Like I just envisioned like a bard, but you know, like that fucking the wearable like band bullshit, like that gimmick thing or whatever, where you have like, have you ever seen that? It's like
Oh,
the
where they have like the harmonica strapped to their neck
yeah, the
and
harmonica
stuff.
strapped to their neck. Yeah,
Yeah, and he's got
the
like the
drums in
horns on
front.
his shoulders.
Yeah, I just imagine like a bar just like charging in and doing that really quick, and then they're like, okay, now fuck off. Now it's time to go back.
I would have
to the Bump
almost
of Chicken song.
I would have almost liked if you guys have heard Maki opening season 1, just like going full out like J-rock boy band kind of thing. I think like that would have been an interesting
I mean,
twist in terms
I
of like
think
how
like
the
what they
theme would
were
have been,
going
but
for could work
yeah,
with Bump of
yeah.
Chicken and everything. I think it's just a matter of like it needed to be the instrumental needed to be more apparent, like more of a thing, and also it needed to be more of like not exactly what you would expect from Bump of Chicken, and like I guess like a more like acoustic style thing or something for me at least to make it work. Like otherwise, it's like I like the Bump of Chicken song. I kind of wish it didn't just randomly decide here's some bard instruments. I guess.
Yeah.
So you're saying
It
it's
was,
not as good as Creepy Nuts?
yes.
Damn.
Yeah, I don't think it is. No, I think as
Damn.
a song,
Mashley just
is
keeps
still...
winning.
Yeah. So unfortunate for the opening theme, the ending theme being "Party" by Ryoku Oshoku Shakai. So this is like a much more like standard anime ED, but I do appreciate kind of like it was almost like a picture book like illustrations at the end. I kind of do
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Yeah, the visuals are
That was
really
pretty
nice.
nice. Yeah. So that was pretty good. I think overall audio visuals are um very good. So it's like there aren't a lot of like like kind of like frames of animation outside the base action scenes that need it, especially kind of near the end when they're doing a lot of like battlings. So even in like the food porn scenes, although like what I will say is that those don't really need that much like 60 frame per second kind of level of animation. You know what I mean? Because it's like a lot of those are kind of just like bubbling, kind of frying stuff like that. So the having the still frames, having like the general like animation and the base like main frames, those like having those down solid are much more important than like the in betweens for stuff like food porn for sure. So it was very good all around, even if it wasn't like like 60 frames per second UFO table, like Saku kind of stuff. OST also very very solid, not destructive, good, like festive medieval orchestral edition. Again, as expected of Mitsuda Yasunori, very good. So
So you're
audio
saying it's not as
visuals,
good as Kenji Kawai? Damn.
Kenji Koi is a very hard hurdle, bro. you can't. This is not like a rap battle kind of thing. I can't fit those
What's
two
your
together.
So it's
yes,
not as
Fire?
good as one of the most prolific composers in the
And
industry. Okay.
famous.
What's your
Yeah.
favorite?
I
What's
guess
your
we
favorite
should.
Kenji Kawai song, Spire? And you can't
OST?
pick your top one. You can't pick your top
Wait,
choice.
wait. Kenji Koi, what
What's the best Kenji Kawai song? You can't pick your top choice.
song? I don't
Or
know about
OST.
song.
OST then.
Yeah,
You can't pick your
but you
top one.
can't. I can't pick my top choice.
No.
I have to pick my second one.
Yeah, what's your
Hell yeah.
top? What's your top OST, but not your top OST?
Yes, Fire.
Yeah. I was about to say Ip Man for Kenji Kawai, but
That's fair. I'll take that.
yeah. But if it's not if it's not Ip Man, it would probably be Death Note, right? I would say. But yeah.
Your top one being a unicorn, by the way.
It's a unicorn.
So it is written. Yeah.
Yes.
Is it not unicorn? Were you lying to me last time?
By Kenji Kawai?
Who am I thinking of?
You're thinking of Hiroki Sawano, sir.
Yeah, sure. Oh
Yes.
yeah, that's probably the correct one. I'm sorry, is Fate Stay Night.
Yes. Yeah, okay. But yeah, so going back again, I have zero qualms about the audio visuals. All of it was done, as should be for Dungeon Meshi, and the food porn obviously is great. The action and like the animation required for the action is where it needs to be. All of like the pictures and stuff like that are, improved versions almost of what is done in the manga, and like stuff like Merciel's face and everything. Great. It's just done very, very, very well. And it's again going above and beyond, which is what an anime should be. It should go above and beyond the original source material where possible. So, um, that was that for audio visuals. And going over the plot summary very quickly, I'm just going to do like a TLDR. Laios and Marcial and Chilchuck uh, are going along with a party to do like dungeon crawling. Laios and his little sister Farin are all in the party together, along with Marcial and Chilchuck and our other party people. They go dungeon crawling. They meet up with a red dragon. A lot of people get killed. Laios, Marcial, Chilchuck gets spat back out, while Faline apparently gets eaten by the dragon. The other party members, except for Laios, Marcial, and Chilcha, kind of leave, and they're just like, "Oh fuck, what do we do? Our party got destroyed, essentially dismantled by the dragon, and we don't really have a lot of like money and like resources and stuff like that." So they decide to again go dungeon crawling to find the red dragon, but they also try to subsist on food by trying to hunt and eat the dragons,
That's
or not eat
fire.
the dragons, the monsters in the dungeon.
Why are they dungeon meshing? You have to tell us why.
Yeah. So again, part of it is to save on money and costs, but second is that Laios has always been interested in like the ecology and like how the composition of monsters and how they taste and stuff like that. So because he's such like an addict, like a monster otaku essentially, dungeon monster
Twisted fucking
otaku.
psychopath, I think.
Yeah, to like a very creepy extent almost.
Fire, what's
He
wrong with licking an orc's sweat?
That is true. Yeah. You got to taste it. You got to find out. You never know until you have a bite. So Elias is super interested, and while he's trying out, some of the monsters that he caught, the party consisting of Laios, Marcial, and Chilchuk meet a dwarf named Senshi in this case, who is sort of like gourmand as well, and he has taken all this time to study the various monsters in the dungeon and how they can be prepared and eaten and stuff like that. And so they take a liking to him because he can make very good monster recipes, and they party up with them to try to chase down the red dragon, hopefully before the red dragon fully digests Laios's little sister Fallen, because apparently it takes about a month for the red dragon to fully digest human beings, and they want to kind of find her and if she's dead, resurrect her before she gets fully digested and destroyed and disintegrated. So that's the whole plan. And so the general idea of the series is obviously there's the overarching plot of the party wants to get to wants to crawl around the dungeon enough to get to the red dragon and hunt the red dragon down and get out the little sister. But most of the story, other than sort of the slowly expanding like world lore building, as well as the slowly expanding cast members, is an episode by episode kind of here's a monster in the dungeon that we're crawling through. We catch the monster in some way, and then we make food out of it. So that's sort of the part of it. And if anybody, how there's always those like when people are talking about like Sakug and stuff like that, it's the Sakugas and Ghibli, especially with like Ghibli Studios, there's always that, or Ghibli Studios, there's always that like scene of Howl's Moving Castle, the breakfast like bacon and eggs and stuff like that, and the ham. Anybody who loves that sort of like scene and that sort of food porn has, if they've watched stuff like Kofuku Graffiti, if they like stuff like Shokugeki no Soma, whatever, if you do not watch this series, you cannot ever talk about loving these sorts of series, like food porn series, ever again. Like,
Oh yeah,
watch this
Aspire.
now. Or what? Yeah.
What about One Piece?
What about Piece?
Sanji
I think
cooking's
that's a
great.
slightly different take. But like food porn in general, right? If you like food porn anime in general, and if you do not watch this series, shut the fuck up. You do not get the right to talk. You lose your human rights. Get out. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. You need to watch this fucking series. It is a requirement. It is not a privilege. You must watch this series. So um
Oh
a
yeah,
lot of
Aspire.
like the
Name
yeah
your favorite cooking. Your favorite Meshi
Meshi, my favorite one.
in that series.
I want to say honestly the omurice. I like the food porn of the omurice picture. To
Wow,
be honest,
this guy likes
it's like pretty
what is it?
standard.
Was it bats? Yeah, this guy likes bat
Yeah,
cookies.
bat omurice. Yeah,
A bat and one
My
drink.
yeah.
my favorite
I don't
is what about yours, Near? We should all go around and say our favorite.
I like the mushroom.
Oh, that's
Oh
good.
yeah.
How about you, Dark?
The Kelpie stew looked pretty good.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
I'm glad we all have different opinions. Mine's the
Yeah.
ice cream. Love those jewel
Oh,
bugs.
dude, I did
Yeah.
not know. That shit looked that shit was too much for me.
Yeah.
What's wrong with jewel bug exorcism ice cream?
Oh, actually, no.
But
The
yeah.
ice cream looked good. The sandwich Leos made was like fucked up looking.
But yeah, I just really, again, since I'm like one of those people that do like the food porn anime kind of stuff, I did like it a lot. And um I think it, again, a lot of it kind of the descriptions and stuff like that kind of end up like those Japanese TV shows that go to restaurants and then like they try the food and they do reviews on the spot where it's like, oh, I can feel the save or I can taste the savory, blah blah blah, and then they give reviews. I like that too because it's like cheesy and stuff like that. But I think in addition to that, what's important is that obviously there's like the trivia, which is nice, and the really well done visually like food porn, and they show also like the process of making it. Right, it's not just hey, by the way, omurice. It's like they show like the chopping up the bat, they show like the frying it or like the stewing and like drying it out and stuff like that, and the equipment and everything, and it's like really fun to watch for people that like that sort of like food porn anime kind of stuff. And on top of that, the sort of the manzai and the slapstick comedy part of the whole like, oh, I don't want to, I'm getting chased by this monster, help me, or like, um, I don't want to freaking eat bats, bro, like stuff like that is not only vibrant, but it's also again, save a lot of that is also kept alive very well by the voice actresses, Senbongi Sayaka and Co. But it's also kept pretty constant throughout the story, like the food and like the manzai slaps the comedy. And it's not like when drama appears, or when like a mini arc appears, or when they have to do like world building or whatever. It's not like the food and the comedy part disappears. Like for instance, what'll happen a lot of the time is especially with some authors, is that when it gets to like a serious portion or when it starts doing a lot of the statecraft or the politics or the world building, they'll have like 3 arcs worth of just serious, no laughs, no original theme kind of state building or statecraft and like this kind of world building. And then they'll suddenly just be like, oh yeah, I forgot, comedy filler episode, which is not really what I want because the original point of why I started watching this was the food and the comedy. But the fact that the original author keeps that a constant and like the backbone of the series is made it very good. And also the drama part is kept short and coherent. It's not like, oh, dragon, oh, what do we do? And it's like that's that for like 6 episodes. It's like, okay, here's the dragon. We should deal with it. Oh fuck, here's this like, climactic battle. Boom, we deal with this. Oh, there's a problem here. We deal with that. Blah blah blah. So it's not like, again, as I said, 5 episodes of introspection. Is like, can we really defeat this dragon? What what's gonna happen if you don't defeat it? Oh my god! And it's not like that. So I do like that it's kept succinct. Um, on top of all of that, I also do like again, these are all like pacing like issues in a sense, like if it doesn't work out, and the pacing of the author is very just like almost a masterwork, honestly, a master class in how to maintain pacing while also keeping in the themes, the original value of the series. The whole like expansion of the cast is a good sort of slow trickle while still limiting it to the main cast, so the main 4 cast can still like show off the cooking and all the preparation and their own character developments and stuff like that very well, which is nice. And again, like the drip feeding of the world lore is still pretty good. And because it's limited to the main cast and how they think about the dungeon and like the meshi and the food and everything and about each other, the characters are allowed to develop in a very organic and a very proper way. And seeing Marcia's development with regards to the party and towards her idea, her prejudices against eating monsters and stuff like that, I really like seeing that development. I really like seeing, for instance, like Chilchuck's development too. Obviously, it's not as uh, uh, kind of big. Like the changes aren't as big as say Marcial's, but I do like how notable both of their character developments are and evolutions are throughout the series and throughout the continuation of the story. So all of these, just like the organic character development, the pacing, and the way that the drama is struck, the drama as well as the major plot of the story is balanced out with the food and the comedy part of it, I think is great. It's just, again, a master class, and combining a larger plot with a series that is centered around um primarily people just wanting to read food porn. So I really, really do like that. And the fact that it's such solid source material, and it's been made into more or less a pretty straight adaptation by Trigger, plus or minus maybe like stuff like truncations, stuff like that, is quite good. And it's just, there's really not much to complain about this. You have the food porn plus the trivia for whoever wants it. You have the comedy for whoever wants it. You have like the cute, Marcia like pouts and eating the food and stuff like that for whoever wants it. You have the character development and like the slight drama and stuff like that for whoever wants it. And this is all done under like an interesting theme of eating monster food in a dungeon, and we don't have to do this whole isekai, demon lore, battle, academy, growth, cheat, sports tournament, rebirth of the dragon heavens, like anime, in order to get all this organic character and like development out. So I really, 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 really do like almost everything about this series. From the original source material, the way it's written and paced out, and the characters, all the way to how Trigger adapted it. Just let it do its thing. Just do the straight adaptation, add the audio visuals, elevate it, boom, done. And I honestly think, I'm pretty much done talking about the series overall, but I honestly think that this is already a solid contender. Probably top 3 contender unless we see more surprises down the line for best anime of the year. Like straight up.
Yeah, pretty
It's a
easily.
very high, yeah.
Are
It's a
you
very
sure,
high
Spire?
hurdle too.
I don't know, Spire. I don't know if it'll make anime of the year.
I mean, I don't know. Obviously, there's still the rest of the year, right? It's still
it's
March.
gonna be
but
Jujutsu Kaisen season 5.
yeah,
Also,
True.
what is it? Free Run? Free Run. What did Free Run win any awards last year?
Free Run Part 2.
For what, the Crunchyroll Awards?
Yeah,
I think it's
Jujutsu
beyond
Kaisen.
the cutoff.
Yeah,
point,
it's
right?
beyond
so
the cutoff.
We'll see it next
So
year.
it's got to fight
Yeah.
against Free Run. Also, the
I
plot.
mean, Free Run's not gonna win because Jujutsu Kaisen is gonna win, as you said.
That's-
So
that's true.
it's
Yeah.
over.
Also, Spire, isn't the plot just a rehash
No,
of
the new season of Demon Slayer is gonna win.
That's true.
Isn't the
Wait,
plot
that's
just a rehash of Dungeons and Dragons: Shadows of Mystara?
I
And-
don't know.
And by extension, because it's basically the same universe, Dragon's Dogma.
yeah.
And also Baldur's Gate.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also Baldur's Gate.
As if you remember,
Uh,
Dragon's Dogma is the spin-off that Capcom made, basically thanks to Shadows of Mystara.
Yeah, and also any Shadowrun
And
campaign.
yeah,
Also, yeah,
They
Yeah.
both have red dragons.
And also Cyberpunk.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, they all have red dragons, and did you know even Monster Hunter World, red dragon?
Yeah, it even has it all on the cover,
Oh.
bro. It's
That's true,
done.
true.
It's over. Yeah. But yeah, I think it's very
Fire, there's no red dragon on Monster Hunter World, you liar.
no,
That's
I
not
meant
true. What are you talking
Shadow of
about?
Mystara.
Rathalos.
Oh yeah.
Rathalos is a red dragon.
Oh, I mean, I was but Dark specifically, Rathalos is a wyvern. Safi Jiva is a real
That's
red
true.
dragon this
That's
time.
true. You just got fucking
Shit.
owned. You just got absolutely fucking upset, dude.
Wait, but isn't the red
yeah.
dragon? Isn't the red dragon kind of a wyvern in Dungeon Meshi as well?
No, it has 4
Oh,
legs, does it
yeah,
not?
it's got 4 legs, yeah.
Wyvern
Oh.
has
Oh,
two
yeah, that's
two legs.
right. But doesn't this one? Doesn't
Dragons
the
have
dragon
4
not even
legs.
have wings? Dungeon Meshi
Huh?
did have wings. I don't even remember if
Yeah.
this thing had wings.
Yes.
It did, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
Are you
But
gaslighting me?
yeah, but anyways, that's neither here nor there.
Whatever,
but
dude. They turned
again,
on
No,
the
it doesn't.
protocol
Oh wow,
later
it does
today.
not.
it
doesn't have
doesn't.
wings. I told
It does
you,
not.
I
told
thought it did.
you.
Yeah,
Then it would be a worm, wouldn't it?
No, it stands on 4 legs.
a great
It's a
worm. Yeah,
dragon.
but yeah.
Kind of a
Anyways,
dragon doesn't have wings.
it would be a wingless or dragon. It's like
Sorry,
one of
Nier,
those
here, I'll post it.
Middle Earth
This
dragon.
is the worm
Ah.
Nier. Look at that
Where
worm.
worms have no legs, right?
No. Look at that worm.
But anyways, again, this conversation is neither here nor there, so I'll end it here. But I think again, definitely at least top 3 contender for anime of the year, unless we get surprised again, which could happen because last year, right, we were down on a lot of the anime during the seasons, and then we still ended up with like 6 contenders for anime of the year or something like that, right? So obviously it could happen, but I do think
Speak for
it's
yourself. Onima
definitely
was the only one that was ever gonna win for me.
That's true. But I do think this anime of the year contender easily. Trigger did a solid job at adapting this. Honestly, I think Trigger should just go into the White Fox.
That,
work.
like I
They
said,
should-
man, yeah.
Yeah,
The moment
Trigger should
I
just
like,
steal
got
White
through like
Fox
2 episodes of this, I was like,
Don't you
Yeah.
mean? Don't
this
you
is
mean
what
that
they
Trigger
should
should
just
steal?
do.
Trigger should
Yeah.
steal Bones because what is it? What was in your series?
Metallic
Callouts.
Rouge.
Metallic Rouge kind of sucked. They should They should have the Metallic Rouge cast do Dungeon Meshi Season 2, see how that works.
They should not do that.
I don't think that's a good idea. That would be some.
They must
not-
redeem
yeah.
themselves. Or maybe they should do a
I
Bubblegum
I think
Crisis
they should
remake.
redeem themselves in another series. That's not Dungeon Meshi.
Or
But,
or Dirty
Yeah.
Pair. Why not a Dirty Pair remake?
They should not do
yeah, I
that.
don't know. Yeah. Anyways, this Dungeon Meshi, I have nothing but solid words of praise
What's
for
your
it.
rating?
Um,
Or rather, who's your favorite character? You can't say Marcel. Because that's cheating.
What?
That's everyone's favorite
How is
character.
it cheating?
Who's your
You're
favorite
like
character that's
naming-
not in the main party?
Yeah.
Yeah, in the name part. I don't know.
Well, if not in the main party, I like Kensuke.
I mean, if it's not in the main party, it would probably be
Kensuke is an
Namari,
integral
right?
part of the main party.
Yeah.
Damn, but that's
Namari,
fair.
yeah, Namari is good.
Yeah. But anyways, the thing I want to say is that I try to reserve something like a 10 out of 10 for series that seriously most people would say push the bounds of animation and how it's valued by itself. Again, something like Orange Studios Land of the Lustrous, right? Or something that very accurately and represents the zeitgeist, right? The modern zeitgeist, like Oshinoko, right? So it's very like it has to go above and beyond the current bounds of animation storytelling, or what are the current trends in animation storytelling, as well as audio visuals. Again, maybe something like another one would be something like Koe no Katachi, right? So even if it's like something fancy and flashy like Kimi no Na or whatever, that will not receive 10 out of 10 from me. And indeed, I said, it was not the best of series or movies, anime movies. And despite me having really no complaints about Dungeon Meshi at all, I would give this a 9 out of 10.
Oh, yeah? Name a 10.
Name a 10?
He did.
Yeah, I literally
Named
just
a
named
few,
2 10.
actually.
Yeah.
Name them again.
Yeah,
This time different ones.
No. So the reason why I'm giving it a 9 out of 10, again, half of it's from, unfortunately, I don't think it goes above and beyond. Obviously, it elevates the original medium beyond its original source and gives the anime more reason to be watched, right? And it's not just like promotion material for the manga. So, but it's not
How
going
can it
above.
promote the manga? It's already over.
Well, you can promote
Yeah.
other people to
Everyone
be like,
knows
watch
once,
buy it,
once,
bro.
once the
manga, yeah.
manga once the manga ends,
Why
they,
didn't you
take it
Why
off the
didn't you read
shelves,
the manga
actually.
when it ended?
Yeah,
It's
why
limit-
would you ever read a completed manga? That's true.
Yeah, it's limited edition. The window of excitement has expired.
Once the manga ends, it dies in real life.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
Once
they,
you,
they pull it from
You
sale.
can't. You can only read things when they're trendy. Once the
Yeah,
trend is
yeah,
over,
exactly.
like you're a fucking loser at this point.
yeah.
If you read the
Just
Dungeon
back
Meshi
it up.
manga, you like it's
Poser.
You're
over.
an idiot.
Like
You're
you
an
might as
idiot.
well just
You're
ban in
stupid.
all of your friend groups because they're all gonna hate you. They're all gonna think you're an idiot. They're all gonna think
Poser,
you're stupid.
nerd, loser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
FOMO is real, Spire, and it's the most
Yeah,
important
that's
thing in the
true.
world, other than clout. Clout
Yeah.
and FOMO are what makes up modern society.
What drives the world, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Surprisingly true. But yeah, so I have
hate
to
that
take off.
that's true.
Yeah, I do want to take half a point off because again, it doesn't push the boundaries of animation as again that's a very high hurdle, but some series have done it. And the other half is I will probably take a half point off for the OPED because while obviously they're perfectly functional, it's not again something that goes really just like above and beyond something like a free rent ED or something like that, or melee, or something like a live not even live class, but something on the level of a supercell like Kimi no Shinanai Monogatari, something like that, right? That would be what I would consider like full on like above and beyond. So again, this is not. I have nothing really negative to say about Dungeon Meshi. I want to make this clear, but I only reserve
Yeah, but it
10s for
sucks. We
me.
get it. Yep.
Yeah, but fuck you.
Fire
But
fucking
it
hates
does.
it. Uh-oh,
Yeah.
uh-oh.
GG. Yeah, we should just like have this what is it? The title of our YouTube thing be Dungeon Meshi is good, but dot dot dot. That would be the full clickbait. But yeah,
But
that's just how my brain thinks.
Spire, Spire, me and Dark talked about this earlier, but have you seen Dragon Dogma 2 cooking?
Oh
I don't
yeah, it's
know.
just the FMV or whatever. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just the
it's fucking
yeah,
awesome.
it's just a video of the steak being cooked. Yeah, that's But yeah, that's all I have to really say about Dungeon Meshi. This is anime of the year thing, unless you hate food porn anime for some whatever reason.
Or
Go
you hate
watch this
elves.
series. Yeah, you hate elves, you hate cute stuff, you hate good voice acting, you
You
hate
hate
good
dwarves.
visuals.
Do you think
Yeah.
bulimic people would like Dungeon Meshi?
That's a good question. They
Funny.
just look at it and they're like, fuck it. Yeah. But yeah, go watch the series. Go watch the series. Go watch the series. And it is again Dungeon Meshi, also known as Delicious in Dungeon, trigger adaptation of a very popular manga original. So please do check this out. And with that, we are finally done with all of the winter 2024 reviews. Again, next episode will be preview show for the spring 2024 season. So obviously look out for that. We are going to go on to the news, and by news I mean exactly one article.
Wow.
We and it's like a very short one. We just have the official Macross website announced on Monday that the Star brand of Disney Plus will stream numerous anime from the Macross franchise in 2024. So if you do have like a Disney Plus related like subscription or whatever, um, Disney Plus will be streaming Macross Plus, Macross 7, Macross F, and Macross Delta.
Yes,
So
oh my god, we're actually gonna finally get fucking official subs from across Delta. I'm gonna
yeah.
cry.
I'm sure they'll be
You
even
trust
worse.
Disney subs though?
They
That's a question.
can't be. It's literally impossible for it to be worse. I would
Yeah.
rather watch
Yeah.
machine translation than the fucking anime subs, dude.
You are
The
so naive.
Yeah. Unfortunately the older series, the Super Dimension Fortress Macross series from 1982, and its feature film remake, the Super Dimension Fortress Macross Do You Remember Love, are both listed as limited distribution inside Japan. So for any people outside
Cringe.
of Japan, it will be limited to the series I mentioned just before. So obviously again, if you have the Disney Plus and like related subscriptions,
I
please
have
do
Disney
look out
Plus.
for that.
I need
Me
to
too.
finish the Iron Man movies.
Yeah.
Actually, I
There's
think I
only
used the
3
Disney
of
Plus for Harry Potter. Like I
Okay.
marathon the Harry
That's still
Potter
pretty good.
movies, but then they took them off, so I was like, oh,
They have they got
Fuck.
all of Futurama on there still, right?
Oh shit.
Oh,
I think
nice,
so.
nice.
And the new episodes.
True. I
But
haven't
yeah,
seen any.
but yeah, that should be it for the news again. Very short, and we're going to scoot right on to shoutouts and callouts. Everybody here gets one shoutout and one call out each. Shoutout can be any one thing. Praise to the heavens, 5 out of 5 on Yelp. Any one person, place, or thing. Call out is something that you want to insult, rant about 0 out of 10 on any one person, place, or thing as well. And we will start with Nier. Shout out, call up, please.
Shoutouts to
The Canadian Ministry.
no.
Oh,
I hate my government.
Near, you can't say that.
Sure, we don't have freedom of speech here, so I'm gonna get arrested for that. But No, shoutouts to I guess the fact that Final Fantasy XIV Dawn Trail's release date was announced today. It's in like 3 months.
Yep.
Pretty exciting. It's a lot sooner than I expected. I was definitely expecting them because usually when Square Enix says coming summer, they mean like literally the last possible day of summer. But you know, pretty cool.
Yeah, you saw the reason why they're releasing it at that time, right?
Um,
I mean, that's
yeah.
not why. If you're talking
I mean
about the
that's not
Elden Ring
why,
DLC.
but they did say that
You got a week.
it is
You
a
got about a
week
week.
after the Elden Ring DLC. That is likely intentional because I believe Shin Megami Tensei 5 the re-release actually bumped its release up a week, right? Like it's releasing a week earlier. Because originally it was slated for the same day as the Elden Ring DLC, and I think Atlas realized that that was fucking absolutely idiotic. So it's releasing a week earlier. Kind of funny.
Vengeance.
Yeah. As for callouts, I guess callouts to the fact that Shadowverse is ending. That's kind of, I don't know. It feels kind
Was
of
it worth it, Nier? Was all the money you invested worth it?
no, but whatever. I mean,
Nier
I guess
Master Duel.
if you want to do the fucking sunk cost fallacy cope, I got what was it, 3,403 hours out of that game. So
yeah,
you know,
just the thing is, at the end of the day, and you know, I don't want to sound like too much of like an old man kind of thing, but and it might not be as evident right now to some of the younger people playing these sorts of games, but it's pretty, you know, everything, especially on the internet, has an end, and it has a
What
lot
about
of time.
what about
yeah,
Fortnite?
you
What
will
about
die.
Fortnite
You
and
will
Minecraft?
die.
Yeah,
You will die.
every,
You will die.
every
Entropy is
everything.
real. You
Yeah,
will die.
Yeah, but
the
you say
universe,
that.
the universe
But you
all
say
ends. Yeah,
that. But like,
yeah.
what if the pharaohs were right, bro? Like, what if they had it
Yeah,
right?
exactly. What if
Okay.
Cthulhu is real, bro? But
What if you're
but
at those pearly gates and they're like, where's your
The
fucking
Kali
debit
Yuga
card,
will
bro?
end one day.
yeah, exactly. So for right now it kind of does seem longer for some people, but especially on the internet, everything has a pretty has an expiration date of a couple of years, however many years. So it's like um it's best to enjoy it while you can, right? And once it's gone, it's
Yo,
gone.
yeah.
It's kind of how it
Name
is.
one thing that doesn't have an expiration date.
uh, on the internet,
Quite literally, Toast.
literally not.
Nothing.
Yeah,
Like I said, entropy takes everything.
That's not
yeah,
true,
What about
Twinkie.
love? What about love, Nier?
yeah,
Twinkie, Twinkie.
Well,
yeah.
when
The
in the heat death of the universe, I don't think there's
universe,
anybody left to love.
yeah. But anyways,
Do
I
you
guess
do you believe in the single man theory, Nier?
What the fuck is that?
what the fuck is that?
That at the end of the universe, one man shall remain. That one
How?
man is
How
that
is it fucking Cars? Like
Oh, it's battle royale. It's
no
fucking
no
battle
Nier. That
royale
one
rules,
man
dummy.
is
Damage
Jesus.
sucks when
Yeah.
there's one
Is
person
Jesus.
left.
But I like your
yeah.
interpretation better. Battle
Yeah.
royale at the end of the universe.
But anyways, I guess again, thank you, Nier,
Yeah,
for
for the fucking doom posting, no problem.
yeah, for a
Hell
shout out
yeah.
call out. And Dark, what about you? Shout out call out,
Nier,
please.
Um,
what will your contribution be at the Akashic Records?
The
Gooning.
Akashic Records. God damn it. All right. Anyways, Dark.
I I guess I'll shout out the Wild Plunder Storm. Actually, you know what? I'll shout out MMOs in general right now. I've been having a lot of fun with Guild Wars 2. WoW's been very fun. The new Battle Royale mode is a very fun mode.
I heard that one complaint is that it's not free to play to
Yeah,
get more
but I
players
mean
back
that
in.
was like the point because you're supposed to be a WoW
For what?
player.
The
Play
WoW BR
WoW.
thing? I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like
You have
it
to
could if
sub
it
to
was an
WoW to play
expanded if it
WoW.
was an expanded mode, I would like say sure, but I don't think that's really what they're looking for with this. I think they're looking for experimenting with spell types, experimenting with movement, things like that. I don't really think they're trying to like get people into WoW with a BR. But yeah, that was very fun. Yeah, and like Near said, the FF announcement was really cool. Final Fantasy has been announced to also have content.
Yeah,
1.5 times the amount of rewards.
whatever the fuck
So
that means.
that's
Did they
so
announce the?
they announced a
They
good
announced.
story.
Did they announce the FF7 Rebirth collab? Why? Where is
No.
my Buster Sword?
No, they
16.
but the 16 collab is apparently
Yeah,
coming
they announced
soon.
the 16
So
collab.
How come they already have a Gunblade but they don't have a Buster Sword?
Because Squall is cooler than Cloud.
You know what? That's true, Near. I will say hot take. I've always thought Squall was cooler than Cloud because
Yeah.
you can actually wear Squall's clothes and not look like a moron. In 1997, is it 7? 6?
Um,
7?
I think it was 7.
Okay. Yeah.
Anyways,
but yeah,
call out.
so that was cool. I'm gonna call out yeah, I'm gonna call out capital G gamers that are like harassing the fucking harassing the like Dragon's Dogma 2 partners or like just in general people who have been like
For the DLC or whatever thing.
yeah, well, first of all, yes, because the DLC is completely inconsequential, and Capcom's been doing it for like fucking ages since like DMC4. And yeah, it sucks, but it's like
I think the problem.
to harass people like based on them being like, I like Dragon's Dogma 2.
I mean, yeah, that shit's retarded.
It's like really fucking stupid. And that's the only thing I'm
But
calling
there
out
are-
because again, it's like to be like, you influenced me to buy this game and it has like these awful microtransactions, and it's like, have you played a Capcom game in the past decade?
I
Like,
think
but-
the issue with Dragon's Dogma's microtransactions is it's like the cherry on top of a release that is like full of shit.
fucked up.
You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
like
Like,
yeah.
Because there's the
Because
fact.
that's the other thing. Dragon's
mean,
Dogma
there's the
2,
base-
like valid that
Yeah, there's
its
like the
performance
base
is
layer
dog
of the
shit.
game just not running very well, right? Which is a huge fucking like just shit sandwich already. And then you have the fucking like filling of like the issues of where like your save is not locally stored, it's stored on a server. And there's no way to delete your save, and there's no way to start a new game if you want to like restart and re-edit your character from like the start of the game.
Yeah, because
Um,
you're supposed to buy that, buddy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What-
Yeah.
that is
I mean,
like I said, like it's
the
super,
strongest
it's,
argument
the complaints are
I've
valid.
seen for that is the sort of manipulation there for not having a new game is you start the game, you make your character, you load up your character, whatever. You move around, you see him in game, and you go, I don't really like this character, right? And you go back to the main menu to start a new game, you see it's not there, right? And then like you're at like the start of the game, right? So you're like, well, I want to remake the character, right? It's like the only way to do that to buy this DLC. And to an uninformed consumer, they're probably gonna buy that. You know what I mean? And that's
Yeah.
an extra $2. So
Yeah.
I think there's
Wait,
definitely there's
$2?
definitely
It's only
yeah,
$2.
it's
yeah,
$2.
it's really scummy.
How much
yeah.
was the one for to make a a new character on Monster Hunter. Was it like 50?
think it
No,
was-
no, no.
I think it was
I think it was
$2.
like, yeah, I think it was like $2. It was not expensive.
You could buy like
Um,
a 10-pack of them though.
Yeah.
But like,
PC
why would you need
users,
it? Why would you need a 10-pack for Monster Hunter?
I don't know.
That's
Some
just
PC
people really
players
like editing
keep
their
winning.
character.
I mean,
Yeah, for the uninformed as well, if you're on PC, just download the mods that make vendors sell all that shit.
I'll also
Uh,
get the shorter character mod just for in case for those real short kings. Remember, because what the limit is 160.
Yeah.
There's one person I know who is at least 157. So you got to get that realistically there.
Anyways,
Spire,
thank you.
Spire, no way. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about
Yeah,
Mr.
you
Patrick.
tiny little gnome you.
Okay, I
yeah,
apologize.
so
Uh,
that shit was like a mess.
yeah,
And that
it's
sucked.
kind of stupid because it's
But
like
yeah, don't harass people
a lot
for
of
that
misunderstandings.
because
Yeah.
yeah, I mean because it's like, you know, it's one of those things where it's like if someone comes out and is like, yeah, this game runs like shit, its microtransactions suck, but as far as the game goes, I really like it. I think that's fine. And I think as long as like people are clear about it, sure. Um and yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Kind of bullshit. I don't know. The way I look at it is like, especially if you're gonna like go after people for that, it's like, well, it's not like not buying Dragon's Dogma 2 is gonna make them like fix these things faster. Like
Yeah.
that's not how that works. So it's like if someone's like, yeah, I'm liking what I'm playing right now, like I think that's okay.
Yeah. Unfortunate. Um, thank you very much, Dark, for your shout out call out. Toast, your turn.
My shout out, real cool dudes.
True.
Who? Okay.
What? Didn't I say that last week?
No idea.
No, I don't think so.
I'm gonna shout out real cool dudes that that elevate and revolutionize the media that they're known for, and I could think of two off the top of my head.
Would you care to mention them?
Why don't you guess? Why don't you guess?
I have no idea.
You know who's having a real cool concert in 2 days? And just had one a few hours ago.
Ah, yeah.
That's one. And you know who had a 23, right? You know who had a birthday live on that very same day? Gee, do you think that's a coincidence? I don't think it is.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm talking about Suisei and Otto pushing the
Okay.
boundaries of what a VTuber is and what a singer is.
Okay.
Did you see her new MV spot? It's pretty hot.
Yeah, her new music video, I would actually also recommend it. Watching that, it's
See?
really good.
Pretty good.
The one with the 360 camera, right?
The
Yeah,
one where she throws hands? Hell yeah.
Cool.
yeah, I thought that was a really neat, very 90s.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Shout out to
And your call
those
out?
two. I don't know. War and famine?
Fair enough.
True.
Alright, well, sure.
I don't know. What maybe schizophrenia and general clinical depression, I guess. That too. All the Angramanyu. There, we'll just say it. We'll just say it all at once. All the if you don't know what that is, it's all the evils in the world. Child trafficking, I guess that too falls under that.
Yeah.
Um, but okay. So thank you, Toast. I guess going last here, shout out to Trigger. This I guess the first in a long time that I've felt fully positive bias towards Trigger and something, but obviously again they've done a very solid job adapting Meshi here.
I keep thinking
Uh,
Trigger is the one that did the new Trigun, but isn't that Studio Orange?
that is orange.
Yeah,
Yes.
listen, if Trigger could pull that shit out, like
If Trigger had adapted the new Trigun, fucking the anti-spiral will be attacking in episode 11. The the
When's
fucking
when's season 2, by the way?
yeah, exactly.
I don't think they've
Yeah.
announced.
But
When
yeah,
is
if
season?
Are we expecting another Trigun Stampede? Like, come on.
yeah, if Trigun Stampede had been made by Trigger, Vash would have been getting into Mecha by episode 9. So, but anyways, you know, shout outs to them again. First time in a long time that I felt kind of confident in them doing stuff, and then um, I guess call outs. I don't really feel bad about too many things right now. I'd say maybe the call would be
Bro loves
I
famine and strife. Holy shit. Uh-oh.
yeah, fucking
Damn, this
I
guy
am the
loves
Plague Lord.
evil.
Yeah, I am the Plague Lord, but I guess I would kind of agree with Toast in the whole like didistic kind of thing. Although again, I do also kind of find the collab like
Evil
items
kind
and
of sick.
textures kind
Yeah,
of
we get
I
it.
thought you were
yeah.
gonna say. I thought you were gonna say. I kind of agree with Toast that like war and famine is bad.
Yeah, yeah,
But
but like not all the
But
way. I think there's like
my heart keeps
I don't know. I
telling
don't know if I
me.
really want to take a hard stance on that.
yeah, it's like I still do like selling weapons and like
Yeah.
and like causing chaos, but I have to make sure that my alignment isn't too won't get us banned on YouTube. But uh I kind of agree with Toast on the whole like suisei whatever. I mean, I think this is the general sentiment too, where it's like I think the general community sentiment is that it's a little bit weird to be seeing suisei and like idol master idols on the like official art of like an event kind of thing. It is kind of weird, but I don't think it's so like bad and like deleterious and whatever for the franchise or anything like that. It's it's an
But what
obvious
if she was in
promotion.
the Idolmaster anime?
If she was in the Animemaster anime, I think that'd be a little bit too weird. I think like just having like cards on like collab is like one thing, but actually putting Suisei, because what's weird to me is that VTuber fans are VTuber fans are grown men, like 30-year-old, 35-year-old men for the most part
Spire,
that are
let me fix you on that. Hololive fans are grown men.
yes.
Niji Sanji fans are women.
uh,
I'm sorry. Niji Sanji En Luxium
yes.
fans are women.
Thank you for the. Yeah, that there is interesting split in demographics.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
I do
weird.
agree.
Yeah.
But VTuber fans are like late 20s, early 30s kind of like people, grown fucking ass adults who are trying to both be like, oh, they're just like, regular streamers in real life, bro. But also kind of being like, no, believe me, my VTuber is a real, you know, alchemist that came from the stars and is 500 years old and deserves to be next to,
Yeah.
you know,
Hey,
my
hey,
love life idols.
are you calling Angie an alchemist? Goddamn, where are we going with this?
Yeah. So I find it weird. I think collaboration is still a little bit weird, but it's still okay.
It's
In terms of
because
like
Suisei
the official
loves
art.
Idolmaster. That's why it's
Yeah,
okay.
I think just having like a
Sorry,
regular collab is
what
like
if it
whatever.
was Mori Calliope?
I think it would also be weird. I just think that it's like exactly the same as being just asking me,
So what
hey,
you're
what if
saying it would
fucking
be? Are you saying it would be? It's more okay, or that Suisei being an Idolmaster collab would be the same as Mori collab being an Idolmaster collab?
I think having either of them in an Idolmaster collab is exactly the same as, I don't know, having like Pokimane or whoever be in a fucking Idolmaster collab. I
You
think
know,
if I saw official art of her next to Kaede in like of like Pokimane or whoever in an Idolmaster collab, I'd be weirded out. I'd be like, okay, that's
what was
fucking weird.
really weird though? Seeing Nene in the what is that one show that she loves, Fire, with the shadow guy? One of
Kage no Jitsuruku Shadow, the
yeah,
Eminence of Shadow. Yeah.
Eminent Shadow. Did you know Nene's in that game? It was weird, dude.
Yeah, I think I heard about that. But I just think it's like, I
Or
think it's
what
weird.
about? Did you know Minato Aqua's in the Sao game now?
Yeah, they're all in
Weird.
like different mobile games. It's like I think even like I'm tolerant-ish of like the game parts because it's not like they're getting weaved into the official canon or whatever it is, and it's just like collaborations, and that's fine, right? Although again, I think the poster art, seeing like the
Bro
poster art and
wouldn't
like the
survive
card
a
art and
day
stuff.
in Fortnite.
Yeah, exactly. It's like that. It's like a little bit weird, but I think
Do you know how many people were disappointed that the the Gods update was not Persona 3? You know how
for the Fortnite stuff. Yeah,
yeah, it was
I
like
got a
people
little
were
bit
saying like,
disappointed.
oh, it has to do with gods and demons? Probably Persona 3. And I was like,
Shin
what?
Megami Tensei.
I mean,
Yeah.
apparently the like pretty reliable rumors is that a Persona collab is happening.
Yeah.
So
Oh, sick.
But I just think that uh other than the slight weirdness aside, I do agree with Toast for the most part. And again, I think this is general community sentiment that it's it's just a promotional thing and it happens. And I think all of like the very strongly voiced um
You know they rolled for
gen-
Suisei. You know they did.
yeah, they all definitely roll for Suisei for sure. But all those otakus who are on social media being like, "How could this fucking collaboration happen? How dare you?" Stuff like that are also a little bit weird. So I'll give a call to them. So yeah. Anyways, that was my shout out call out. And with that, we are finally done with all of the winter 2024 reviews. And again, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Again, if you guys ever have any like suggestions or whatever during the season on which anime maybe we should try to review, whatever, please do drop us suggestions on our social media on Twitter or wherever. Um, and next episode again will be the spring preview show, one of our usually looked forward to episodes, just because of all the different stuff that we're going to be skimming through. Dark has foreshadowed Doom, a bad timeline for us, Apocalypse coming. So we'll see how it goes, but we'll have to go through it. And if you do like what we do, we stream our podcast every other Saturday, starting from 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time over at twitch.tv/4PlayerAnimecast, where we cover the latest and greatest in Japanese animation media, anime, manga, light novels, web novels, visual novels, so much more. So we record our podcast here on, again, twitch.tv/4PlayerAnimecast with the numeral 4. We clip stuff, we have highlights, whatever, here as well as on YouTube, so you can check us out here wherever we have regular uploads. So please do follow and subscribe to our channels here. Social media updates on you on Facebook as well as on Twitter at 4PPAnimeCast is our handle. Facebook 4PlayAnimeCast. So check us out here, check us out there, and as always, we'll see you next time.